This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Andy, we are back. It's Thursday. You know what that means. It is time for another Rushmore. It's time to welcome in our friends. It's time to welcome in our frenemies. It's time to welcome in the lurking trolls. It's time to welcome in everybody that wants to hang out and talk crime movies today. Who would have thought, man? It's a crime that we haven't talked about crime movies already. And we'll welcome in my students. We'll welcome in your kids, my kids, everybody's kids, because that's what we do, because we're a kid-friendly community. Speaking of kids, there she is. Genesis is in the house. Hey, listen, we're kid-friendly. We are pastors. We are we never go over the bounds. And to be completely honest, I don't necessarily do this for the kids. But my kids are always like, Mr. P, you going to be live tonight? And they're here for like 30 seconds. One of the reasons we straight up are going to keep it kid friendly. And we're just erase the haters. It's us, Ayub and Imran. Ayub and Imran, what's up, guys? So nice to see you guys. Tonight we're talking crime movies. Andy, what's been going on over at your place? You've got a revival breaking out over at church. What's happening?
Yeah, man. So thankfully from leadership, I was able to have the night off. We've had opened up the doors to the church for a revival week. We've got a traveling evangelist who's in here preaching right now as we speak out there, or will be in the next 10, 15 minutes or so, be speaking out there. And Jonathan Osteen, not related to Joel, but he does joke and say that that's Uncle Joel, which is always fun. But no, so he's out there. This is actually their 6th week of the North Shore revival that's been happening. It's been kind of going between locations of churches, and we've been hearing testimonies and actually like literally seeing healing happening. Like this week at Journey, I've been seeing people healed from people literally in walkers standing up and walking. I mean, just, God's been doing some crazy stuff, man. So
it is crazy.
That's been happening. We've been hearing MRI reports that somebody had such and such ailment, and literally the next day, doctors can't explain it. It's cleared out. And so God's been moving. God's been doing a whole lot. And we'll wrap that up tomorrow night. He's actually going to continue it. So this is going to go past 6 weeks. This is just, why let it go out,
And where's he going next?
I think he's going back to Lacombe where it started. And then, believe it or not, he's going from Lacombe to Colombia, South America. Obviously, that's not the North Shore revival, but he's preaching some revival services out there too. And then he's coming back to Louisiana. Yeah, this dude travels for a living. That's just what he does. And but he is originally here from Louisiana. Young guy.
Yeah, I've met him several times. We've had some run-ins with them guys. They're great. They're a great family. What's up, everybody? Fat Boy's in the house. Look out. If you need someone that is going to help be a great moderator and a friend in the chat, smash that like. Let's do it. Fat Boy's in the house. Fat Boy was on the show back in December, and he kicked off the big bump, man. Him and all the other friends. What's up, PCG in the house? I was hanging out with PCG the other day. Derek is such a great friend. He was going through his Genesis games and playing some old Golden Axe and playing some Gunstar Heroes and a bunch of other games. It was quite a fun time. Andy, I'm just sharing over on our Discord, just kind of dropping that we're live right now. I think it goes without saying. We've had a great time and a great run, but it's really cool. This is all about community. And listen, I don't care if there's 3 people here. I don't care if there's 100 people here. We never did this to be famous. We only did this to hang out with our friends. Actually, we really only did to hang out with each other, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you guys are welcome to join. And look, we're Christian guys that love the Lord, love our families, and love all these geeky things, and just welcome you guys in. And we love our old best friends from 8th grade, like Kevin, right? And then we just have a good time. So what's on the dock today, Andy? What are we talking about?
So I'm very excited. You kind of already mentioned it. Crime movies, and we'll talk about this as we get into it. But we're going to bring our guests on here in a minute. But just real quickly, I didn't realize how deep the cuts were of what's considered a crime movie, because it's, I'm typically the one who teeters the line of does this count or does this not count. Although last week our friend brought up the Gorillaz as a fake band. And I get his thoughts, but but we have those controversial picks, and we have some friends who like to have opinions about our controversial picks.
And we had somebody in the chat and Instagram that said Blues Brothers wasn't a fake band.
Yeah, no, and I love it, and that's kind of the whole point. If you look, let me just say this real quick before we get too far into it. If you would stick around long enough to understand this, these are personal Rushmores. We make up our own criteria for what fits into the category. You may not like it, but that's the whole point of this show. We love having the disagreements, but back to the original point.
Back to the lecture at hand.
Yeah, perfection is perfected. But anyway, so we have crime movies, man. There's so many subgenres. We did shmups, right? Shoot 'em ups a long time ago, and there's, like 58 different types of shoot 'em ups. One of them being Pokemon Snap, but like there's other there's ones in there, sure. And man, when I did that, it opened up my eyes to a whole plethora, a barrage.
If you haven't hit the like button already, go do it. That's the most important thing. Hit the like.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited for tonight. For sure.
Hit the dislike button. If you dislike it, whatever. Hit the like button. Dislike, whatever.
What did dislikes do for the algorithm? Did they do anything?
It's engagement. It doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're like, oh, somebody engaged with you. They don't care. They just want to see engagement.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun night, man. I'm excited for sure.
Yeah. But let's talk about what's coming up. The summer is coming up. I'm 4 days away from summer break, and I've got a lot of plans coming up for some lives. We'll probably go live a lot more over the summer. Play some video games. I'm gonna finish my books over the summer. At least one of them, probably two, that I'm messing around with. And then we've already booked out to. We're already booking in sports. So if you want to be on the show, we're booking sports, we're booking food, and we're booking video games for next year. If you want to be on the show, it doesn't matter. If you want to be on the show, message us, and you can be on the show and not lurk in the background. You can come on the show and talk and not get kicked off, I guess. But anyways, and so we're talking crime movies. Andy, crime movies is a big topic, and it's going to be really important, I guess, for your criteria. But because we literally could have just done mafia movies, could have just done heist movies, could have just done murder movies, could have done prison movies, could have done old like Western crime movies, could have done science fiction space crime movies, whatever. Crime is a big topic, and I can't wait to hear the criteria. But first, we have to welcome in our new friend, and I can't wait to tell you all about him. But I actually met him in a Christian podcast Facebook channel. A couple of weeks ago, we had a guy who was going to come on from Sweden, and John, and he wasn't able to because his dad passed away. And he was from that same Christian podcast channel. So finding a couple guys just hanging out there, supporting them. They support back. And he's like, man, I'd love to come on the channel. So let's do it. Rushmore of crime movies. This ought to be interesting. Let's get it. If you're in the chat, all 11 of you say hello and follow along with us. You're a part of the Summit Squad. This is for you. As you take this journey with us, drop your top 4 along the way. If you leave, put your top 4 here. If you are done, make sure you show up tomorrow. We will have all of our picks out on Instagram. And don't just heart it. Vote and see what won. Andy, who won this week?
That's a very good question. I have not
The
followed
last
up.
time I looked, it was a split decision with 10 votes. It was like 3-3-3-1 or something like that.
I'll tell you here in just a second. I'll let you know.
But anyways, but let's welcome on our new friend, Andy, and to the channel. JM Collective is one of the names he kind of goes by. He's got Compass Collective. He's got a whole bunch of podcasts. Welcome to the show, our new friend Javier, and let him tell you all about what we got going on. Javier, is he there? He is.
What's up, guys? How are you? Thanks for
hanging out
having
in
me
the
on.
red light district. Check him out. So,
Yeah, pretty
Javier,
much.
tell us all about you, man. What's going on with your journey of podcasting, your Christian walk? What's going on your channel? Why would the 11 people that are tuning in now and the multitudes, the thousands and thousands of people that will never watch this show, but if they did, why would they want to come to your channel?
Why would you want to come down? I'm just kidding. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a huge geek fan. I'm a huge tech fan. I love anything when it comes to imagination or art or anything like that. And I'm also a Christian. And I decided that I wanted to just to make the story short, I had two podcasts. I had the Compass, the Crossroads podcast, and I also had the Faithful Geek podcast. One was more theology based, another one was more fandom based or nerd based. And then I realized that they were bumping into each other, and it's a lot of work, as you guys know, to write and to create content. So I said, you know what? Let me just combine both. And I came up with the Compass Chronicles, and that one is a mix of faith, fandom, and life, where I talk about my faith, I talk about my love of fandom, and just issues in life, and I try to combine all of them together. Let's say anime or a DC comic or DC animated. I try to look at the positive things of those and try to use biblical perspectives of it to help people understand that God can be seen in every art, in every form, if you look for him. And so that's, pretty much it. So if you like nerd stuff, if you like to talk, you like to have civil discourse, you like to critically think and figure things out, then you're more than welcome to come find me. It's the Compass Chronicles. We're on every podcast app you can find. We don't have a YouTube technically because I've been so focused on just recording. I don't do video just yet, but I will soon. But I love being on a show. I thank you guys for letting me on. I'm excited. I'm a big movie and a crime fan. I read a lot of crime novels. I've watched a lot of crime movies in my life. And it was pretty tough to think about. Like you said, the crime is a big genre. It has subgenres and little things here. So it was tough to figure out what I would choose as my top four, but they ended up all being under sort of the same genre per se.
There you go.
But I'll leave it at that. But nice. It's been fun because you get to start to think of like, what do I like about this one that I didn't like about the other one? What makes this one better than the other one? And like you said before, I went into this. It's like this bottomless pit of you start seeing this movie and you're like, oh, I remember this one. And wait, I remember that one and that one. And before you know it, you're 50 movies in, from all the way from the 1930s.
Well, 8. Yeah, I totally agree. Guys, go check out the podcast over here. We'll put the links to in the after this live goes up there. I think it may already be in there. I'm not sure. But go check it out. Javier, if at any point you want to put those links in the chat, feel free to go for that too. So
we need to say hello to a couple people, and I need to do some prayer time. Prayer time. Sure. We're already praying, man. And so, hey, look, Javier, you're on the show. This is what we do, man. The crime movies are secondary to real people.
For sure.
And we're faith believers. We believe that in prayer, God will provide and on His own time. But I'm seeing here that our buddy Bryce, his family, he's lost a couple members over his family in the last couple days. And Bryce, we love you to death, man. You're a great dude. Keep up the good work over there at your stuff. But we're thinking about you, about your uncle. And his uncle just passed away. So he's at the memorial right now. Lord, I just pray for Bryce's whole family. Lord, you have picked up the dust and blown air into it. You gave us oxygen to breathe from nothing. And Lord, we go back to dust. And Lord, I hope that Bryce's uncle is a believer or was a believer and has joined you right there at the right side of your throne and is just having the most blessed time. But I pray for the friends that he's left behind. I pray for Bryce and his family that they find relief in their grief and that they can eliminate some of the craziness that's been going on with all the stuff for Bryce. And Lord, we love Bryce to death. Protect him. There's people out there that are just hating on him for no reason, and he is just a great person and a welcome person in this community at all times. We love you in Jesus' name. Oh, by the way, Lord, thank you for dying on the cross, but even more important, thank you for rising off of it, because without that, we are nothing. And hey, I pray for everybody in the chat, the 10 folks. Fox, hello. PCG, hello. Girl Dad, hello. Kenneth Bird, hello. Kevin, and hello. Fat Boy, hello. And man, speaking of kids, man, child abduction, Amber Alert here, man. I hate that. I'll pray for that person too. Girl in Savannah, Georgia. Man, Lord, hate predators, hate people that do evil things. Lord, pray for that person in Jesus' name. Now, let's get to crime movies. Speaking of crime, man, you love crime movies. I love crime movies. This list. Let me just say this: they're usually really hard. This list was easy to just rattle off good movie after good movie after good movie after good movie. And then as I kept expanding into other genres of maybe crime, more movies, right? Like, for instance, I started out Mafia and Heist, kind of, and then brought in some other subgenres. And I was like, oh, well, I got to have this whole list. And now I got to have this whole list. And it was really easy to find a whole bunch of movies. Not as easy to eliminate. Matter of fact, I had some kids in the chat today, students, some of them, my fourth graders, they put in for peer leader. Most ever I ever had, Andy, 62 applications to be on the peer leader team. And my principal only wanted to keep less than half on the team. So I had to make some really tough cuts, and I hate it. I hate it. And that's kind of how I feel about these lists sometimes, man. You got to make tough cuts. Cuts. And so
it's rough.
Yeah. And hopefully you get to talk about them a little bit because other people picked them. And but here we go. You're going to go first, Javier. We always talk about criteria. Criteria. Here's why criteria is important for everybody in the chat. And you may have never been here. We're called the Rushmore Show because we rank our top 4. Rushmore in the sports talking head world always is kind of like the GOATs, the 4 best. Well, for us, we've kind of made the chat, it's our 4 favorites at one level. Like, what are our Rushmore? So basically, we all have personal mountains that we stand on, and your mountain might be different because, so for instance, I'm a Yankees fan, and I'm a Yankees fan because of my dad. My dad, we were from New Orleans, no baseball team, and he was born in the 40s, and his favorite team throughout the 50s and 60s was the Yankees. So he raised us all as such. You, my friend, live in New York, and you are a Mets fan, and your family follows the Mets. There's probably a story behind why you follow the Mets and the Giants as opposed to the Mets and the Jets, or the Giants and the Yankees, because that's usually how it is.
Right.
But I'm sure you've got great story. Here's one of the things, since you are in New York, you'll love this. I say this all the time. Many people will put Tom Brady on their mountain for greatest of all time quarterback, unless you're a Giants fan because you beat him twice. You're a Jets fan, you get pounded by him many times over the last 20 years. Or you're a Saints fan because we know and believe that there's a better quarterback out there. Actually, two of them, one that played for our team and one that's from our hometown, that is better than him. And so, and kind of a third guy out there that's kind of really. But with that being said, three good nerds. Yeah, hey, New Orleans does need a MLB.
Come on.
Hey, let me just say this. Congratulations to three good nerds. He's going to be on our. Hey, hopefully he's still going to be on our show. He's going to be on our show. Come sports. I'll be messaging it out about that soon. But he just hit. I think I might be wrong. 3,000 subs, or really close.
Nice.
Which I think when we started being friends,
awesome.
I think we was sub 1,000. Man, you've been killing it.
Awesome.
If I remember. So congratulations. He is a LSU fan. He's an LSU fan, and he's a Don Mattingly fan, which that's my guy. That's my guy.
Right.
So, anyways, but Tom Brady would be on the mountain for most people, but unless you're one of those guys. So, just 2K. So he just hit the 2K mark. Anyways, so your mountain would be different, but if you were in Boston, he's definitely on your mountain. If you're in Montana, who don't care about football and all you hear is how great he is, he's probably on your mountain, right? So that's kind of why the show. When you were putting your criteria together, what were you thinking about these crime movies? Like, why did you pick these without giving anything away? And then you'll be number 4.
Why did I pick them? First of all, it's like you said, it's absolutely almost impossible to decide which are your top 4 because, as you said, every crime movie has their own genre, their subgenre, and subgenre on top of the subgenre. So the reason I picked these are because of the genre and also because they're period pieces. And they show a lot of what I enjoy. I'm an old soul. I love stuff from back in the day, 40s, 50s, 60s. Just the whole. I'm a big Rat Pack fan. You know, I love Sinatra. I love Dean. All those things. So that whole time of when Vegas was Vegas and things like that genre and that time I for some reason always attracted me. So the movies that I sort of picked are kind of in that area. So that's why.
Nice.
So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
So I like that. I like where we're gonna go because we'll talk about it here in a minute. But this may broaden our conversations tonight. So Javier, without wasting any more time, what do we? 23 minutes, and we're in a great spot here. Your Roosevelt. Number 4 on the mountain. Let me get my little visual aid right here. This was given to me. How cool is this?
Right here.
So Roosevelt's right here. We thought he was the number 4, the 4th most important on the mountain. Obviously important enough to get on the mountain, but when you got
unless
Jefferson,
you were here last week,
George Lincoln.
Nick Connick said he named his kid after him. He should be.
Well, there's that too. But anyway, so Rosie's our fun little nickname for him. Javier, you're going to start off your mountain, your Rosie. Who is the number 4 on your mountain? We always say this is probably the most difficult one to pick because it's the gatekeeper, right? Like it's everybody else is out. This is where you have 4. Usually know you're 1, but Rosie, what you got?
I don't know if everyone's familiar with the movie, but it's called Once Upon a Time in America. It's a piece. It's about the Jewish mob back in the 30s and 40s, and it's a period piece. It was filmed all in downtown Brooklyn, where I grew up. It was filmed. It has my favorite actor in the world, De Niro, in it, and just the whole how they grew up as children and back in the 30s and 20s, the discrimination and how they became mobsters and the whole. Back then it was you were a bootlegger or, you did numbers, and it was just the whole idea of the 30s and 40s. I enjoyed the whole movie, and it's a strong movie. It's a tough movie, but I just loved that because it showed all of old New York, you know, and it was filmed in downtown Brooklyn and the Lower East Side. So it was just that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed that movie so much.
All
Okay,
right.
And the actor, obviously.
So Andy, before you jump in, let me just give a little statisticians. You like the stats? Rated R, 1984. Definitely a crime movie. Rated crime. 3 hours and 50 minutes. Right?
Yeah, it's a super long movie. You have to be committed, and it's a slow starter.
IMDb drops it at an 8.3 out of 10.
Not bad.
Rotten Tomatoes says 86%. Letterboxd gives it a 4.2 out of 5.
Come on,
83% of the people love this movie. David Noodles Aronson, which is Robert De Niro, returns to New York where he had a career in criminal underground in the 20s and 30s. It's a prohibition film. I've seen this movie, but I haven't seen this movie because I am a De Niro fan. This is one of those movies that I probably watched partial of it, maybe on like HBO or Showtime back in the day when that was really a thing, where you actually paid for cable. So I did actually watch parts of it. Probably lost me in the runtime, but I love. Yeah,
it's a slow burn. It's a slow start. It's not one of those killer like they're shooting all the. It's a lot more of him reminiscing and just thinking of all his life, and once it gets into the storyline, and it's rough. It's a rough movie. You'll see
me when I come out. Javier. One of my criteria pieces is cast. Okay.
I will say. So speaking of cast, though, this movie you got Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
Joe Pesci. You have
Danny Aiello is in this one.
Yes, he's in James Wood, which is
Jennifer Connelly, my like teenage crush.
Yes,
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, she's there.
Yes.
Yeah. Treat Williams.
William Forsythe.
Yeah, this is a big film. Elizabeth McGovern.
It was a big. I mean, it didn't do. I don't know if it did well in the theaters because I watched it on VHS.
Oh, obviously. Burt Young, that dude's a quackpot, dude. He's awesome.
So
it didn't do well.
It's one of those that unless you really love the actors or you love the genre, or you would have been lost in the first hour.
It says
it does get better after the first hour. I mean,
this is a good film because if you're a film fan, this is a movie that people rave about, right? And then if you're looking at box office, people that aren't like film fans that want to be entertained, sometimes they get lost in the minutia. But this is a good movie. It's by all accounts rated very high. And if it's a
box office was rough. It says it net just over $5 million on a $30 million budget. So kind of flopped in the office.
It was one of those straight to DVD.
Yeah.
It was back then.
That's probably where it got lost for a lot of folks. Yeah. But it's
one of those cult favorites. Yeah, it's a cult favorite. Yeah. So
great pick, man. Great pick to start us off. You're gonna fit well in here. Hey, everybody in the chat. Drop your number 4. What you think your 4th best Rosie is, while Andy is pulling his up. Andy, what's your criteria today?
Yeah. So criteria for me, it has to be a movie that I'm going back and I'm rewatching. This has to be a movie. I mean, all 4 of these movies. So let me say this. Crime movies are probably not my go-to, but what I will say is these 4 probably crack, if being fair, probably top 50 movies, top 20, top 30 movies of all time for me. These 4 movies all crack that for me. You know what I mean? So straight to Betamax. There you go. That's a good one. It was 84, so maybe we didn't have DVDs, but yeah. So these 4 probably crack my top 30, if not 50 or so movies, right? Which I think for me, not being a crime like that being the go-to, says a lot about these movies. So these are those ones there. Like I said in the beginning, I did struggle at first because I was going just like very strict with like what we would consider just like a mafia or crime movie, right? But then I opened up the wind the goalpost a little bit because I was like, man, there's so many different subgenres. And I totally agree that crime's involved in all of them, and I just love the different kind of nuances between the different genres of it. But yeah, with that said, man, my my Rosie is probably the antithesis of a slow burn. This is action packed the whole movie. It is a 2-part movie series. There's long been rumored to be a part 3. When that day comes, it has to happen.
Yes.
One of my favorite just guys who puts movies together, any director, producer, creator, writer, Quentin Tarantino. I'm going Kill Bill. Kill Bill is going to be my Rosie, which is strong in a Rosie because this movie is fantastic. Uma Thurman. I mean, we want to talk cast. Uma Thurman, Lucy Liu, David Carradine, Michael Madsen, Julie Dreyfus. I mean, there's so many huge names in this movie, and even Vivica A. Fox. Yeah, I mean, dude, this is a killer movie. I remember watching. Now, let me just preface this with saying, Kill Bill is one of those movies that was a BC movie for me. It's probably difficult to go back and rewatch. It's very vulgar, obviously very intense and action-packed, and with that comes a lot of gore and things. But again, 2003, 2004, she's a former assassin, right? She's trying to get revenge from all of these different criminals that she was kind of in the runs with and everything. But dude, I will tell you this: that scene, the Crazy 88 fight scene, might be one of the coolest fight scenes of all time. I love the fact that this movie, and Tarantino does this in a lot of his movies, where it mixes martial arts, drama, action, Western. You know, like he's just got so many influences in his movies. Soundtracks to Tarantino movies are crazy good. The filmography of it is just, you know, when you're watching a Tarantino movie. And I love the different scenes of this. I love the fact that Bill isn't even in Kill Bill 1. His name's in it, but you don't see him until Kill Bill 2. You know? Right. And then you've got the what's the punch? You know, the one finger,
the death punch. The one finger death punch.
Yeah, dude. So this movie is so good. Is so good. I had to put this. This is my Rosie. It's tough, man. For me, I love Kill Bill, and this, this is an action-packed, fantastic top 4. I'm very excited about this list. But I'm gonna start my night off talking Kill Bill.
Hello, religious fanboy, welcome back. It's been a minute since we've seen. I think we hung out in Geek Devotion, so I think that's where. So welcome. You're definitely welcome here. PCG says Safe House, good pick. And
that was a really good movie. That's an underrated movie.
Three Good Nerds makes a good point. I'd have to separate crime from mafia to make a top 4. So with all things considered, originally it was going to be mafia, and then some things kind of bounced around, and we're like, hey, why don't we just do crime? And now looking back at it, I probably wish I would have kept it at mafia just so that we could do heist ones later and whatever later. But hey, we're going to run with this. Just joined. I contemplated Kill Bill on my list, but didn't think it as a crime movie. I'd have Pulp Fiction as more of a Tarantino. Yes. So I didn't think Kill Bill as a crime movie, but it's not a crime movie, depending on your criteria. So here, let me give you the stuff. 2003, rated R, action thriller. It's just under a 2-hour movie. It's an 8.2 at IMDb, 85% at Rotten Tomatoes. In a nutshell, it says intense, thrilling, and gritty. Listen, the reviews, 100% love the act. This is a great movie. It's about an assassin who simply knows his pride, wakes up in a coma, and is jealous. Right?
That's a criminal act, assassinating a person.
But they were all assassins.
They're all assassins
on her wedding.
They were a crime group, right?
Yeah, it's a crime. Yeah. It's like a ring of family underground. Yeah, it's all about.
I love the way he did that.
It's sick. If it's a Tarantino movie, almost all of them fit the crime area. They're just in different.
Yeah.
sections of crime.
And especially for if like me, I'm old. I remember the '80s karate movies.
Yeah.
On TV, right? Every Saturday at 3:00, there was no kids in the street. All we did was watch karate movies.
Yeah.
You know, and then you would run outside and fight everybody. That's what you would do. You know, but when he brought that into Kill Bill, because one of the 88s is actually one of the actors in the original karate movies from back in the Shaw Brother days. And the way he did it with the death punch and the trainer and all, it just nostalgic. I loved it. Just the idea of like to see. Yeah. I was seeing an updated Shaw Brothers movie. You know the way.
And the scene where it's Uma versus Lucy Liu, that fight, dude, is just. It's like in like a samurai village, and it's so like
with the snow and everything.
The snow, it's such a. Again, I just think. It is one of the most, again, it's not a movie I'm necessarily watching now, and I understand, you know, like, it's just tough to put myself through all of that.
Honestly, you said BC. I've kind of relaxed a little bit of that BC as long as it's...
This one's just, to me, and I get it, like, there's some things that I'll watch, but this is over the top, I think.
Right, it's over the top.
I will say, in that, even those scenes, the way that they're shot is just, it's like art.
Yeah. That's why I love the choreography, the whole, the way it was filmed, the, what do you call them? The,
filmography.
Yeah.
Hey,
the filmographer.
Welcome, David. Hey, so let me shout out a couple of people.
Sure.
Religious Fanboy, and Three Good Nerds. My apologies. I hadn't given you a moderator yet. Now you're a moderator. Share your channels if you're a moderator in the chat, guys. We always do that to our friends as long as we trust you. And Home Alone is a crime movie, maybe. Yeah, I guess.
It's a comedy crime movie. I mean, it's a crime comedy.
Yes, there are some comedy ones that I wanted to pick. They're all in my Benjamins today. This would be a Benjamin for sure. I had Tarantino. I wrote Tarantino. I didn't write Kill Bill, but there are a few Tarantino movies that are definitely crime movies. I just wrote Tarantino. So, So that's just kind of where we're going. David, welcome to the show. We're talking crime movies. If you haven't already hit the like button, do it now. And it's my turn. So, I already kind of shared one thing with my criteria, and that is cast. Andy, you shared something, rewatchability. These four movies, honestly, the four movies I'm going to say today, and a bunch of them that are on my Benjamins, if I was to rank my top 50 movies, they'd probably all be in it, just across the board. They're just really good movies to me. I love them. I have a lot of nostalgia with them. The George today, my George today, I have gone on record and said it's the George of movies for me. It's my favorite. Is it my favorite today? Maybe. It depends on how I feel, but it is one of my favorite movies of all time, for sure. And Andy, I think if you thought well and hard, you could probably figure out where I'm going. Well, it might be hard because there's so many, but so I'm just gonna get started here. All of my movies. So I kind of picked a murder, a heist, a mafia, let's see. So heist, murder ish, mafia. But this one is much different. And Andy, it's one of your favorite actors of all time. And I could have picked several of his movies, to be honest. There's about 6 or 7 of his movies that I absolutely just love. I rave about. But this one, I think it's very underrated. It actually got very bad reviews. It's the lowest reviews out of any of the ones we've mentioned today. I'll say those in a minute. But this is a 1996 film. It's in the genre of neo-Western gangster shoot 'em up. Okay, shmuppy. But it is definitely a gangster mafia movie. But it is set back This movie is if you take John Wick and you put him back in the, say, 1930s, in the Old West. So I'm going with the movie Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis
Nice.
and
Yes.
Christopher Walken.
Wow.
And
Great
listen,
movie.
I have watched this movie more than I wish to share. It is so witty. I'll give you the gist of it if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's 1996. Get on it. It's basically a remake of a Yojimbo film, Prohibition era, Dust and Bullets. I mean, it's just a lot of shooting. But Bruce Willis plays a guy, John Smith, of all things, right? He's this like stoic gunslinger. It's got noir vibes. It's very Western film, like very bleak, very dusty, very brown, if you will. And it's an overlooked gem for sure. So here's the deal. John Smith shows up in town. Two gangs are fighting. He goes over here to this gang. He talks this gang into joining him, and he fights this gang. This gang then hates him. Then he goes over there and tells this gang what this gang's doing, and they hate him. And before the movie's all over with, one of the best shoot-'em scenes, that guy gets blown out the building. It's so awesome. And then you got Christopher Walken. This is like prior Fatboy Slim, him dancing. But dude, he is at cowbell and all that jazz. He ends up kind of, there's a little love interest, there's a whole other thing, and Bruce Willis ends up basically taking over the whole town. And it's just a phenomenal movie. I love it to death. So 1996, shoot 'em up, Bruce Willis, whatever. So if I pull up this movie, I just had it, and it is definitely, out of our three movies, the lowest ranking film. 1996 action western gangster is what it says. Hour and 42. It's a 6.4, 44% on Rotten Tomatoes, 44% is in the TV Guide, and basically John Smith comes on, and he's the mafia of the Wild West, bro. I mean, 1930s. So I love this movie. Go ahead.
As you know, I'm a huge era fan. Anything with time and era. To watch the cars, the 1930s, the 20s, Prohibition, how he worked both gangs and how he manipulated both. And I love Bruce Willis. I think Bruce Willis is an underrated actor. He's done so many great movies. He's fun. I remember him from all the way when he was on TV. You know,
thanks for the raid, fellas. Thanks for coming on in. Hit that like button. We're talking crime movies. Javier's just talking about my movie. So we're in our first round. I just picked Last Man Standing. Share what your favorite crime movies are in the chat. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you guys for being so amazing. So, yeah, you like this movie.
Yeah, it's a period piece, obviously. And, you know, all the actors there are great. The scenes are amazing. The way that they're shot. I'm kind of a realist when it comes to movies. If the movie seems too out of I lose interest if it's not close to what I would think it would be. If it starts to be too over the top or too he shoots 50 bullets from a 6-shot gun. Those get me a little bit.
So no Expendables? No Expendables are showing up today?
See, Expendables are fun. They're just fun to watch because they remind me of the 80s and 90s watching these guys.
Expendables might be my most favorite movies to watch that I just want to hate, but I can't.
Right. You're right. And when they come on, you don't want to watch it, but
if you go into Expendables knowing what you're getting into,
yes.
Like just coming with
here's one, True Lies. True Lies.
Yeah.
That is about the most ridiculous.
But it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's a lot. I actually went to the movies to see it. That's how much, back then.
I, for a second, I'm trying to remember Last Man Standing. I don't ever remember watching an episode of this show with Tim Allen where Bruce Willis also.
Dude, which is on. So that's funny. That's on my. That's on my TV shows too. Last Man Standing. I love it.
It's a great TV show. It's fantastic. It's not loved in our culture today, and I understand that there's some hate for it, but I love that show. It's well written. But yeah, dude. But in all seriousness, this movie.
All my new friends that are in the chat, if you're here, thank you for being here. Drop your channels in the chat. Everybody go and
Yeah.
help follow
Yeah,
around.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
have you actually seen this though? I know you were making a joke.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen this. My dad was a big fan of this movie, and anytime you can get Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken in the same movie, you're gonna have
for sure.
you know, you're just it's not, even if it's the worst of those movies, it's still gonna be really good. You know?
You just want to see them. You know, you just want to see them.
It's worth everything to see those two.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, you know, it's looking like Bruce Willis is just, you know, just not doing well. I don't know if you've been seeing that.
Yeah.
I actually was. Matter of fact, I was on the internet the other day.
Hey, Isaac, welcome. Isaac will be on the show soon. Thank you for being here, Isaac. Hang out a little bit. We're talking crime movies.
And there was an interview with his daughter, one of his daughters, I think, and she showed a picture of him, and you know, like, unfortunately, my dad is in that era, you know, in that time where it's the long, as we call it, the long goodbye. He's there, and we kind of know, you know, how sad that can be. And then to watch such a man that had so much energy, so much wit, so much, you know, prowess, and to be, you know, that you see him just sitting there and just, you know, it's sad. You pray for him. You pray for his family, because it's not easy to live with that, or to, you know, but you get to enjoy who he was with the Die Hard movies and all his other movies. So you get to enjoy who he was back then.
Yeah. It's just crazy to me, you know, when you see those, especially when it's somebody who's such out in the forefront, a celebrity, and, you know, it's unfortunate that we do this, but you kind of fall in love with the celebrity of it, and it's like you have the nostalgia tied to, like, oh my gosh, this movie, this whatever, but you sometimes, whether it's unintentional or intentional or unintentional, you forget the human side of it, you know, that, like, he's just, you know, these things happen, unfortunately, and you know, you certainly pray for him, for his family. And
it's like Gene Hackman. You feel so horrible for what happened in his life, and I loved his movies. I mean, Gene Hackman is one of my favorite actors. I grew up watching with my dad all those movies,
absolutely,
and to see how he lived and how he died.
Gene Hackman will forever be Lex Luthor to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, and he's Papa Doyle for me.
Real quick, Isaac, I haven't reached out yet, but if you have something that we need to reschedule, you know, just let me know. We'll figure it out. We'll get you back on down the road. If it's something we need to pray about, bro, definitely let us know. We'd love to pray for you. But man, so does Next of Kin count? Next of Kin. Next of Kin a movie?
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah,
Patrick Swayze. He's from New Orleans. Yeah. Oh yeah, that counts. For sure.
I mean, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because it has the mob involved in it. They kill his brother. That's why he goes after them. So
Aaron's bringing out some hot movies right here.
And Liam Neeson's in
Ocean's 11 and The Departed into my list.
Great
but
movies
that
too.
we're including Richie Rich as a crime movie, I may have to rethink my list.
Well, because it was made, it's a crime. Other than that, you know.
Yeah.
Being a comic book aficionado.
Hey, Isaac. Let's talk offline for sure, and we'll get someone to fill in your spot for sure. And look, Isaac, I can't remember exactly. Isaac's on the show next month, guys, for movies. If you want to jump on and fill in that spot, but we'll talk offline, okay? Just to make not that I don't want to hear, but if you want us to pray, we'll pray now. But I'm sure you have something to chat about. Yeah, David Bryant. Go follow David Bryant and his stuff for sure. Yeah, this is a great chat already, man. So 3 good movies. I love all 3 of these movies so far. Man, we're so Javier. Now we're at second round. Second round, you don't have to give criteria. It's basically just jump in. You could kind of walk it through. This is TJ Jazzy Jeff, better known as Thomas Jefferson. So who is your so PCG? Cobra definitely counts, and I have it hanging around. You may hear it tonight, but definitely counts for me. Javier, you're up. You can share however you want. It's number 3 on the mountain.
It's number 3.
What's your pick?
Number 3. I was when we were talking about the crime part, I don't know, for some reason I straight went into the mob movies because obviously those are my favorite. But there are other movies, and we were just talking about a director before, and I think it's one of those movies that it's one of the movies that just shows real good acting, and the cast, as you said before, is a big deal. So my number 3 would have to be Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yes.
Woo! See, yes.
That movie in itself,
so good,
made me love that genre. I mean, I watched it, like when I first watched it, I think I watched it like 8 times in a row straight. Like, it was so intense.
Yeah.
I felt every shot, every scream, every it's one of those movies. Yeah. It's one of those that if you don't pay attention to it, you will get lost. But it's just and it had nothing to do with the goriness of it, right? It's their interactions with each other is what made the movie for me. Is how, and the part, obviously, I don't want to give a lot of, no one's ever watched it.
Says, excellent choice. David Bryant says, so good.
Yeah.
I wrote Tarantino down with this one in mind, as well as a few others that we've already chatted about. But I have a fun story about this one, Andy. I like story time with. I need a little clip.
We need to do that.
Yeah. So story time, right?
Yeah. The more you know. So when I was stationed in New Mexico in the Air Force, my very last day, which is a fun day, we were partying too much and had a little too much to drink. I was actually in the passenger seat, had a girl that I was interested in sitting in my lap, and one of her friends was driving and another guy in the back, and we were actually, this is BC, this is being stupid, this is being stupid, that could be BS. We were racing another set of friends, all of us with way too much to drink, and our car flipped. Our car flipped going around a turn. It's like really, really crazy. And so it flipped. The only injury that we got, the guy in the back seat put his hand through the back windshield and cut his hand pretty bad, needed stitches. But there was the reason I bring that up with Reservoir Dogs, there's that iconic picture of Reservoir Dogs where they're all like walking down the road or whatever. And there is a picture out there somewhere. I'll have to go and look for it. But it is all of us kind of walking from the car to the hospital. And the hospital was not very far away. And there's a picture of us from behind. And it just mimics the Reservoir Dogs. And somebody brought it up, and I was like, I've never seen that movie. And so every time I watch that movie, I'm like, oh, it brings me right back to this crazy scene, flipping in this car. But I love that movie. Tarantino's great. He has I love the twists. He always has a twist, kind of like M. Night Shyamalan. He always has kind of something that's about to hit with you. And then, but this is a good film.
It's just to me it was the dialogue, the way they talk to each other, the smart ass, talking, and the smart aleck, and just all those actors are great.
Oh, three good nerds. I love you to death. Three good nerds. Bullet, The Italian Job, Heat, and Goodfellas.
Oh, there you go.
Freaking awesome.
Well, you want to talk cast? I mean, Tarantino actually starring in the movie.
Yeah.
Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, Steve Buscemi. I mean, this is a cast.
Madsen been mentioned twice. Tarantino being mentioned twice.
Yeah. Madsen, I love Madsen. I he's just a great actor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that whole all those actors in that movie, just their interactions with each other, Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue, just the whole idea.
Mr. Orange, Mr. Brown,
right. Why do I have to be Mr. Pink? Why do I get pink? Exactly.
Mountain Men, Barry, B2, B squared in the house. So Reservoir Dogs, rated R, 1992, thriller crime, hour and 39-minute runtime, 8.3 on the IMDb dial, 90% on the Rotten Tomatoes. It's a great film. 81 on the Metacritic, gruesome and unpredictable, and 100% people love the acting. Man, what a crew! What a crew! Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth. Dude, Tim Roth in Lie to Me, it's one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite. Tim Roth, man. Michael Madsen, Shimmy, Chris Penn,
Chris Penn, which is that's nostalgia for me to watch.
Oh yeah, Chris Penn. I mean, that's Footloose, huh?
Yeah.
Gosh, Ed Bunker.
Yeah, they had some really great actors there, man. Really great.
Yeah, a lot of awards for this one too. Good film, man. Good film. 17 in the chat. Make sure you hit the like if you haven't already, and drop your comments. B ×2. Barry, man, I loved walking with you the other day. I just love hearing the word. It starts my day great, man. Thank you for being such a good guy, Barry. And Andy, you're up.
Yeah, well, I'll say this too, Javier. You took a Benjamin away. So Reservoir Dogs is now gone from me. I do have a nice list, though, of Benjamin.
Okay.
I'm good. I can afford that.
Benjamin for me, just because I wrote Tarantino, but it was with this in mind, one of them.
I struggled to not make this 4 Tarantino movies.
I was just going to say the same thing. I agree with you. It was so hard not to put them.
4 Bruce Willis movies, 4 Robert De Niro
right,
movies,
exactly.
4,
But with that said, I'm going to make it 2 Tarantino movies because my TJ Jazzy Jeff is my favorite Tarantino flick, Pulp Fiction.
Wow.
Pulp Fiction is just iconic, classic.
All right.
Listen, a running theme tonight has been cast. Just buckle up for a second. You ready for this one? Quentin Tarantino, John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Bruce Willis, Tim Roth, Christopher Walken, Harvey Keitel, Ving Rhames, Steve Buscemi, Rosanna Arquette. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on. It's crazy. But, dude, Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's, again, in the same line as Kill Bill with me as far as being this is kind of hard to watch now still, but the non-linear, the Tarantino classic of it's like putting a puzzle together. We open up with this diner being shot up, but then we're like putting all the pieces together. And who gave you the bike? Fred. Where's Fred? Fred's dead.
Fred's dead.
You know, like just so many great lines in this. That is the tasty burger. When I eat a burger to this day, that's what I say. I sure could use a Sprite though. Wash it down. You know, like anyway. Samuel L. Jackson's quotes in this movie.
Royale with cheese.
The Royale with cheese.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like all of these, this is just one of the greatest movies of all time. It's crime all throughout the movie.
By the way, it's another Bruce Willis film.
Yeah, we've been Bruce Willis heavy today for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll say this: I think that this movie, for as great as it is, as popular it is, I don't think it's talked about enough. It's that good. There's crime throughout the entire movie. We're talking about. I mean, I can't even quote what the crazy lady in the guy says in the beginning, but I'm not going to do it. But you know the line. You know, like.
Yeah,
exactly. And it was a movie like another Bruce Willis movie. Not that we would mention Sixth Sense tonight, but it's where it's like the whole time you're watching the movie, you're like trying to figure out how to put the pieces together, and then at the end, it's like, gosh, it makes sense now. But yeah, this movie, again, crime, murder, robbery, corruption. Just all of those types of things are mixed with it. Fun fact about it too is that there's the scene, and again with Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta, where it's about the briefcase gets opened. Look at the big brains on Brad, right? And the briefcase is open, but they never
tell you what's in there.
And it has never been known. And Quentin Tarantino won't say it. In fact, the only thing that he says in interviews is it's whatever the audience wants it to be. How brilliant is that?
Yeah.
Because it's your own movie. It's the motive behind everything. You get to make it up, it makes sense for everything. I mean, it's just, gosh, it's so good.
What Travolta back? I mean,
he was nominated for an Oscar for this movie
until he got on this movie. Yeah, so he rekindled his acting with that movie.
the whole Ezekiel 25:17 isn't actually even the scripture. I remember
it's not, right?
I
went to look for it.
I remember looking for it, like when I came to Jesus, I was like, oh yeah, Pulp Fiction. You read Ezekiel 25:17, that's not it at all. Uh-oh.
Right. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
I don't know what happened there. But yeah, Ezekiel, anyway, Pulp Fiction, my favorite movie. What's happening? What is going on? Here we go. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
okay.
Pulp Fiction is one of those. The soundtrack is really good.
Oh yeah, that too.
It's amazing.
So
$5 milkshake.
Thank you. So hold on, I got a couple things. So number one, 8.9 on the IMDb, 92% Rotten Tomatoes, 4.2 out of 5 on the Letterboxd. 100% love the casting. Another Quentin Tarantino, 1994 crime thriller, 2.5 hours. Soundtrack, another story time. More you know. When I was in the military, and my drill sergeant, his name was Master Sergeant Surgeon. Master Sergeant Surgeon would show up every morning and wake us up with this soundtrack blaring. Yeah. But the soundtrack starts out with that chick screaming at the top of her lungs.
Right.
Any one of you.
That's a great way to wake up.
and so it became kind of like a part of it. Great movie. So my Tarantinos are now not done, because there's still some more out there.
There's still a few, yeah.
If I was to put on a mountain, you guys have hit the top 3 for me. That would be on today's mountain. There's a couple other movies that would be on another one for me, but yeah, good job. Patrick's in the house. Beautiful people. Yeah, man. So Die Hard, an action movie, crime movie, even Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
PCG, you are absolutely right. And Barry, we spelled go exactly right. 3 good nerds. You know what you're talking about. So it's my turn, I guess. And Andy, I don't know. Let me make sure I'm at the right spot. And yeah, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, Andy. You might feel great about it, but I'm going with another crime movie. This one is this movie maybe more of a stretch for the crime movie, but it is definitely a crime movie. 1994. It's a prison drama. Guy's in jail for potentially killing his wife. But he heists the prison. And I'm going with one of the greatest movies of all time, and one of Andy's favorite movies. I hope he thought about it today. I'm going with Shawshank Redemption. Andy Dufresne, and you talk about a cast: Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, Zihuatanejo, which is right here. Andy, boom, there it is. Zihuatanejo, which is, and look, I'm selfishly actually kind of saying this today because of this box. The best movie on the list. So yeah, I'd be shocked if it's not Andy George, and if only because he may not have thought it was a crime movie, but it was on mini list. This is from what we call the cadre. My wife runs the cadre, and this is one of the tokens that you get. And in this box, just like Andy did in the movie, he left some things to go to Zihuatanejo. And they watched this movie at the cadre, and the last cadre is happening Monday and Tuesday ever. Sad moment, and I wanted to speak on that. Jeannie's one of my favorite people. Andy's gone through it. I've gone through it. My wife's gone through it. So that's a side note. But as far as the movie goes, it's top 10 movie in any list you put together for me. It's written well. It's a period piece. The Tim Robbins character is just Andy Dufresne. He is just so good. Red is so good. The moment when the guy gets out of jail and he's free and he just can't live with himself, and he hangs himself. It's just an amazing moment. The drinking of the having a beer on the top as they slop that tar all over the top, them taking over in the prison and playing the music, and just all the different things that come along with this. the crime part, there's a bunch of crime pieces. One, obviously it's in prison, but two, he murdered his wife, and but they take over the prison. So I'm gonna go with that. It's a legendary movie. By IMDb, it's voted the #1 film of all time by IMDb. So, Andy, I'll let you speak. Well, I'll let Andy and Javier speak on it, and I'll tell you the stats.
I have often thought, and it's something that we need to bring up, Kirk, for a future Rushmore of individual movie scenes. The scene when Andy Dufresne finally escapes and it's raining and he looks up, it's one of the greatest scenes of all time. It's beautiful.
He literally went through a crap pipe, dude, a sewer pipe to get free. There's such a Andy, I can't believe you haven't done this yet for Reboot, because there are so many things for Reboot.
There's so many things for Reboot that are in my head, and I just haven't done them.
89% by Rotten Tomatoes, 4.5 by 5 out of Goodreads, 4.6 out of 5 Letterboxd, 9.3 out of 10 IMDb. In the greatest films ever, it's considered the #1. There are several movies that are right by it that are top greatest movies. The story was written by Stephen King, which that's kind of awesome. Lots of awards, 1994, and it is considered by good old Google thriller crime movie. So, bang, 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Javier, do you consider this a crime movie?
I would put drama before crime. More of a drama.
I'm going by crime. Lots of lists.
But there's something to say about the movie's emotional feel, because you felt everything they felt. Oh, that's how good that movie was. Mm-hmm. Especially what he was going through in the abuse and all that. And you're like, could you do that? And then to bring in bringing Christ into it, the suffering that he went through, all the stuff that he did, and
wrongfully
to go through
accused.
That, exactly, and wrongfully accused, and gets put on a cross for us that don't deserve it. But
so many themes in this movie.
He preached 52 weeks from Shawshank.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can create 50 episodes on the podcast just on that, on a couple of scenes alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You can break down one scene and write 10 scripts on just that one scene.
Loyalty, friendship, faith, hope.
I think
love.
That scene where he looks up and he sees the name written in that room, and you're like, it hits you. If that doesn't hit you, then I don't know where you live or what kind of person you are, because if you don't feel that at that moment, you're like,
I like to, and again, so don't take this as scripture. I know that nobody who's on the panel will take this as scripture. So, but if you're listening to this, I understand. I'm taking this and I'm bringing it into a movie.
Taking a little.
But I like to feel that the feeling that Andy Dufresne had working on the boat in Zihuatanejo is the feeling that we're going to have when we hear, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Like that.
Facts.
It's just carefree. He's got no shirt. His beard's kind of, like
that whole joy of just seeing each
other. And then being reunited with, like.
Reunited and it feels.
I'm going to start crying thinking about this.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't cry during this movie, or at least then there's something definitely not right with you.
I don't cry anymore. I actually smile with joy, but this is definitely a crime movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Godfather is instant when I thought it comes to crime movies. Usual Suspects. Yeah. Usual Suspects and Reservoir Dogs, to me, they live in the same village. Mm-hmm. They're both great movies. Godfather, and I'll talk about it if somebody mentions it. Godfather is not on my list today. And you guys, I've said this before. I usually make the thumbnail and the song something that either I don't pick or something I really love. So I kind of just throw some nibbles out there. But Godfather, obviously one of the greatest movies of all time, but I'll talk about it if one of the people in the panel bring it up. But it's halftime, fellas, and This is our time, and almost right on the dot. We're at 1:09. That's perfect. Halftime, we always share our friends. So Javier, this is your first time being here. Obviously, there's the Rushmore Show, but over there is our friends called the Culture Box, and down there to your left is Reboot. Let's talk about Reboot first today, Andy. So Reboot is a ministry since we have Javier on the channel. Reboot is a ministry that we do, Javier, at different conventions. And our latest convention, I actually preached on R2D2, and our lurking friend actually watched it, Andy, because he talked about it. Hopefully,
praise God.
Amen.
Yeah.
He said I tried to relate R2D2 to Christ, and listen, you can kind of parallel a lot of things. R2D2 is not anywhere near close to Christ. Christ is the greatest thing ever in history. But for a friend that might not have ever read the Bible, I'm just given some tidbits, some nibbles to figure out what's the world of the Bible about. And I talked about R2D2 and that he was a friend in the same battle as you, and that he will be loyal and assist you. And that's how us as Christians should do with our Christian brothers. And that's kind of what I shared. But dude, we did that at the last convention, and the next convention coming around, we have St. Tammany Collectors Con was the one we just did. So we have Louisiana Retro Con, we have Pelicon, potentially Cajun Con, and potentially our friend over there, David Bryant. David Bryant's got the Augusta Video Game Expo over in Augusta, Georgia. We'll probably try and hang out with him too. And anybody else that wants to have us, we will come in and just hang out and just have a booth and shake hands and love on people and whatever, a part of to help whatever. And then if you allow us, we won't take over or hijack anything, but if you allow us, we'd love to be able to just do a short message that is geared towards your theme or your show. And so we'll just talk with whoever's in the channel and the chat and the convention, and we go live so people can see it, and it's pretty awesome. So we just preach and teach about nerdy sermons. So that's what Reboot is, an unconventional ministry. We always say this, in order to meet the Jesus that we know, you have to have a rebirth, and in the pop culture nerdy world, that's a reboot. So that's going to be our first little message today. Come find us in the conventions. You can find us on our homepage if you want to watch the sermons. I would love for all you guys to go watch the sermon and let me know what you think. They're really short. They're only like 10, 15 minutes long. Let us know what you think about it and shoot it back. I love the feedback. And tell me what you think. So, Andy, the next one I want to talk about, and Javier, you might be interested, and also Poetically Christian Gamer, I've brought you up to our friends over at Culture Box. We're always looking for new Christian creators that want to join, and it goes to a vote of all the people, and we just talk it over. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in joining a coalition of Christian creators, let us know. But Culture Box is 6 or 7 guys that, not guys, it's there's a couple in there. Actually, there's 2 couples. There's 2 groups of friends like me and Andy and another group. Actually, there's 3 or 4 groups of friends. Now I'm thinking about it. But we all do nerdy things like anime or cartoons or movies from 15 years ago or geek devotions. There's so many different things that we do. And I'd love to bring up and share one of our friends. We actually have a guy who's joining this summer, so you're going to start seeing a new one, Nathan Marchand with Monster Vault. He's got a couple different podcasts. I don't know which one podcast is going to be a part of our group, but Nathan Marchand, and he's going to be actually on our show. So he'll have a new commercial out soon. But let's talk about one of our friends that we haven't talked about in a minute.
Yeah, let's hey, why not? Let's give a shout out to the OGs of it. Francisco and Paul J. Powers at the Retro Rewind Pod. Check it out.
Every other week, join the Retro Rewind Pod as they travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, establishing what is still worth your time today. Expect fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco, Paul, and rotating guest hosts who are all out of time.
Hey, so I spoke out some things that I've been meaning to speak out for a long time. I would love to invite you guys. I've been invited. Actually, I just bullied my way in. I was like, hey guys, how do I join the group? What do I got to do? And that was kind of like, what is? Because we had Geek Devotions was our inspiration, and he was in the group, and I loved watching Retro Rewind and Cellcast and those guys. So there are some things, they all vote and talk about it, and I don't know how many we welcome in every year, but we are welcoming a new person. But there is a spot on our Discord for Culture Box that is just Culture Box people, by the way. It's not like an open Discord. And I will put in there if you guys want to be on, and they will contact. So basically, you just have to be a Christian creator, and you have to bring something to the table that may or may not, be a part. And then I know for this, one of the little rules is that if you go to their shows, they share, just like we just shared, at least one time in every show, share a person. So if you want to do that, I can bring you guys up. They're great people, and
that sounds like a lot
locking
of fun.
arms with other people that want to be a part is awesome.
It's accountability. Accountability is always a good
Religious fanboy. I know you've been in Geek Devotions chat, so if you guys want to be a part of those things, by all means, I will tag you guys and talk. It's a lot more than me just saying, hey, you're in. There are some bylaws and some rules, and we got voted in about a year and a half ago, and we've loved it, and we love those guys. And if you want to DM me, we can chat about it, and I will message the group. The ones we just showed, Francisco, they're over it. And they're the main guys, but we all have a little bit of a chat in it. So, and we could talk more about that offline. But hey, Andy, we got at least one more thing before we go. And I realized this, Javier. I think you might have been the reason I actually went to the Christian podcast show channels. And the reason is, a couple weeks ago, we had a friend on. His name is Hector, and Hector's actually good friends with them, and he's a Christian creator. And his show is called Faith and Fandom. And I went to Hector, right? And I think one day I went to Hector, and I was looking for Faith and Fandom, and it brought me to you. And awesome. His show, his thing is Faith and Fandom, and he wrote, these are his first devotion, as you can see how little that is, and this is his last devotion. That is a much stoutier book. This is book 9. Yeah, book 9, and he's working on book 10, and he's got a bunch of other books. He was on our show a couple weeks ago, Faith in Fandom. I'm sharing that because of you, Javier. I'm in the midst of writing a book. We're actually, Andy and I are in the midst of writing a couple books. He's writing a allegory Christian children's book type thing. I'm writing a kind of Lord of the Rings-ish type book, and I'm also doing some devotions for the podcast. But with that being said, you, Javier, need to go and find Hector.
Yes, I will.
For sure. Fandom is his crew. So that's another mini commercial, small commercial. So Andy, our last commercial is our favorite coffee of all time.
Yeah, man. And we'll talk about it here in a second, but check out Village Coffee, the official coffee of the Rushmore Show.
Let's face it, at-home coffee can be pretty stale. Coffee at home doesn't have to be boring. The Village Coffee is here to deliver the flavor. The Village Coffee roasts coffee every week and sells online. Go to villagebeans.com to order your coffee today and use discount code Rushmore for free shipping.
There you go. Village Coffee, which, Kirk, I want to ask you, you took a bunch of them home with you. Brittany tried them. How are we feeling?
So we went through them all. Brittany tried them all.
What's the favorite? What's the...
Mexico is my favorite. Brittany's on a cold brew, kick. Like she's not really drinking hot coffee currently. So she had a sip of all of them. She liked all three. For me, if I was to rank three, I wish there were four. I'm going to go Mexico.
There is four now. There is four now.
Well, I didn't have four.
You didn't have the Brazil. But I get it.
Mexico, Colombia, Ethiopia. But they're all good.
Yeah.
What's the fourth flavor?
Brazil just got released on the website. Brazil,
if you like. We need an Argentina.
Argentina is not known for very good coffee.
Yeah, but it just needs to be that because that's
Cafe con leche. No, you know what we need, and actually it's something I'm going to bring up to Cade. The next roast that he puts out, my favorite type of roast is a southern, like a pecan flavored roast or whatever. We need one that's called the Rushmore roast. And have the actual, it has nothing to do with Rushmore. I get it. But just label it, call it Rushmore roast, and we'll promote the heck out of it.
Dude, sure. I want it now.
I start ordering right now, so let me know.
You know what I miss right now? This is my favorite thing to get when I go home. I miss chicory.
Chicory coffee is.
I love chicory in my coffee because of New Orleans.
You also like CDM coffee.
My coffee, but I love it.
You like CDM coffee, huh?
Oh, I love it. Oh God, I love it.
Yeah.
Coffee.
I'm a pour over guy. I'm old school. I still do the beans with the hot water and
yeah.
I'm a snob with my coffee. I don't buy outside coffee, especially in New York where you pay a mortgage for a cup of coffee and it's just mud and not tasteless. But that you put up the Rushmore roast and I'll be your first one on there to order that.
Yeah,
so just so you know, Javier, real quick, you can order anything if you go to villagebeans.com and you can use promo code Rushmore right now to get free shipping. He'll ship anywhere in the States.
Nice.
Right now he does K-Cups and ground, but pretty soon he's adding cold brew to that as well. And that's actually at our church on Sunday morning. So it's our pastor's son who runs it. So I work with him every day. That's our coffee at church every Sunday is his coffee. And it's the stuff that we have in the green room. It's the stuff, it's all that stuff. So we have a lot of Village coffee. I love it. It's literally all that I order here. But I'm going to talk to him about putting out a Rushmore roast. And I'm sure it's more than just making a new label. It's, they do it all from their home. So, but so anyway. Go check it out, man. Villagebeans.com, promo code Rushmore. You can
now PCG, you're talking my style now. I didn't even think about that one. RoboCop. Oh, man.
Man.
What a blast back in the day.
That's so much fun. That movie is a lot of fun.
That movie back in the day.
Yes.
All right, so second half. So this is Link, all right? And I don't have a joke today for Link. Link, I missed a joke last week though, Andy. Last week I missed a joke. I should have done so. I put Wild Stallions as my George. I should have had him as my Link because Abraham Lincoln is at that show.
Good.
I missed it. I missed the softball pitch, but Link. So Link is Abraham Lincoln. He's number 2 in the mountain, Javier. What is your?
You didn't just miss the softball pitch. Let me just say this: you were caught looking. Like that's one of the. It's like lobbed. It was just perfect, and you didn't even swing at it.
Oh yeah, I whiffed. Anyway,
sorry.
It's literally there. It's literally like it was tailor made.
Javier, what you got for your Link?
Let's see for my Link. It's probably going to be another one. It's era-based, time-based, extremely violent, but extremely well acted, and it's an era where I grew up in, so it's and it's going to have to be Scarface.
Nice.
Hey, hello.
Say hello to my little friend. I never gave anyone anything that I couldn't back up, the famous scene and you don't know what you're talking about. And I grew up in that era. I grew up when crack and cocaine was everywhere in New York. That's where you made your money. And Miami was the place where you got your stuff from. And the whole, I know it's a remake from a 1940s movie, which the original is actually very good as well. But there's something about the whole Miami sound and the Miami scene from back in the 80s and that whole, everybody had money, everybody was crazy, Coke was the thing. And so, and just Pacino was just, what can you say? I mean, he was just great in that whole, movie. So, can I watch it again now? I can, but I kind of try to avoid it in a way. It's just a little too much for me. So it's a little bit of a trigger movie, but it's it's definitely number 2 in my Rushmore.
Hey, so in you don't have to share. I'll just share on my side. Both Andy and I are several years sober, so we were both in. I'll say this: I never did coke, but I did plenty drugs aside from cocaine, and plenty drink in BC before Christ, before getting saved, before taking this journey. It's one of the reasons I love Christ so much because he saved me from that. You said you were raised here. Is this are you sober? Are you sober?
Yeah.
From
well, yeah.
Did I was a conversion.
I was a coke addict for about almost 5-6 years straight, nonstop. And and the thing is, I've always done.
I heard you say trigger, so I was like,
yeah. It's only because I grew up in the crack era, obviously the 80s, and you made money under hand and fist during that time. It's how you survive. And nothing against them. I had 2 amazing parents. And that's what I like to tell people. It's not necessarily the parents' fault, as they say. I had 2 amazing parents. I had a father and a mother, and I still did whatever the heck I wanted to do. I started drugs pretty much at a late age, the hardcore. I always did any type. Biggest thing for my issue was the dare. If you dared me, I would do it. There would be, don't ever say don't do it, don't dare, because I'm going to do it.
Triple dog dare you.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would do it. I would damn the consequence, right? And so I've always done drugs, but I was already married and had 2 children at the time. And I got involved in the coke thing, and I was a coke addict for about 6-7 years. One of those, what they call functioning, as you guys know, functioning drug addict. My mom and dad never knew. My wife had no real clue, because I hid it well. My daughters and my son still call it daddy's dark time. They always say that, daddy's dark time. Being clean, thank God.
Amen.
For many,
let me ask
years.
You, because this again, these types of conversations take the forefront for me. We talk about crime movies in the beginning of this, so share just as much as you want to. But what was the thing that switched it for you from that to then? This was before Christ. Was this then?
Well, actually, you know what? My testimony is kind of weird because I've been a Christian since I was 17. Was in the Pentecostal genre for a very long time, and I've always had faith in everything. But what made me trigger back was when I realized that I used my last Christmas money to buy an 8-ball. And I didn't have any money to buy my kids any Christmas presents. That's when I realized, holy cow, I'm doing real bad.
Hey, PNX, we're just taking a little squirrel down the road and talking life.
And that's when I realized, like, hey, I need to chill. I need to stop. Yeah. And I did it, and I have to say, by the grace of God, there's no other. I didn't do it because I wanted to. It's just because God at the moment said, nah, it's about that time. I'm coming to help you and hold you. And I did it cold turkey. I never went to any treatment or anything. I just fought it. I separated myself from that atmosphere, from that, it didn't help that my dealer was part of my job, so I had, I had access to it at all times. And God took me away from that. And I separated myself from that. And, I've been clean for a very long time. But that movie just brings back a lot of thoughts of experiences that I went through at the time.
For sure.
Binges.
Thanks for sharing that. Thank you
Yeah,
for
for
sharing
sure.
that.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, yeah, my testimony is a little weird. It's a little crazy. I'm a New Yorker, born and bred, and been through a lot of stuff. But so yeah, that movie. But it's still just the whole scene, the Miami scene, the music, the dancing, the whole. It's just nostalgic for me, and it was a fun time. I love the '80s. I'm a big '80s fan. I'm a big hair metal fan, so I love hair metal. I love '80s music. I love the '80s life. I grew up in that. That's what I did. I met my wife in 1988. So, so yeah, definitely. Scarface is one of those. It's definitely.
I think Scarface is definitely the movie that, and if you're gonna just say critically, what are the top 4 movies, crime movies of all time? Scarface is definitely in the conversation for sure, along with a couple other ones for good reason. I mean, it's not by mistake that it gets mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so the scenes in it, obviously having Al Pacino in it is just great. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah. I forget the gentleman's name that was the Jewish mobster. Well, he's Cuban, but he was Jewish in the movie. He kills him. He says, "I'm not going to kill you." This guy kill him. That actor's name. I love that actor. I've seen that actor. He's one of those character actors that you've seen in a bunch of other movies.
Yeah.
And the whole concept of the movie, just how he became what he was, and it's real life. I've seen that happen. I've seen guys come from nowhere and they become hood rich, and they will run around in their BMs and wearing, back then was 90-pound gold chains and whatever, and so it was a fun time, but it was also a very sad time.
Also, Rushmore of movie quotes. I mean, "Say hello to my little friend" might be
Say hello to my
one of the most recognizable.
Let me tell you how awesome that quote is. I've never seen this movie.
Wow.
What?
And look, I'll tell you, I don't know why I've never seen it.
Wow.
I think
you're the only person I've ever met that's never seen that movie.
Listen. Well, I will say this: I've never watched it all the way through. I've seen plenty of the movie. I've seen where he's like with the just tearing it all up.
M60, right?
Yeah. I've seen. So Pacino's one of my favorites. I had never really. There was not like a big highlight on this movie, I guess, at my school or whatever. And then I remember my senior year, somebody wore a Scarface shirt. It was in the hip hop. Hip hop brought it out big time in the mid-90s. Everybody loved Scarface. And then obviously you had the rapper Scarface and the Ghetto Boys and all that. And it there's so much that was kind of around this scene. And I think I don't even know why I never watched this movie. It's one of those ones that it's been on my backlog and I wanted to watch it. But then I think I got saved and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it now. Why would I watch it now? I know the story, the premise. So, and I just was reminding myself with it, tons of great stuff. But Pacino, you mentioned De Niro. Pacino is one of my favorite actors as well. Yeah. And De Niro, those two guys are probably on my mountain. To be honest,
it's oh well, I was going to mention a movie, but we're going to leave it at that because it might be in somebody's list.
So they're probably on my mountain. But 1983 crime thriller, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer, Stephen Bauer, Mary Elizabeth, Mark Margolis, Robert Loggia. That guy is awesome. I love that guy. And Richard Belzer from Law and Order. Aside from Ice-T, that's his part. But so Scarface, there was a 1932 film,
the original,
and a 1983 film. Both of them redone, but they're both kind of so. It's in the 80s, from a Cuban descent, but it was based off of Al Capone.
Al Capone, correct.
Yeah, and so this is just really cool. When you talk about the drug scene and whatever, cocaine was not my jam. Not honestly, cocaine was not my jam because I don't know that I ever met a dealer. Like,
Mm.
like I wasn't in that circle, I guess. But if I was in that circle back at the right time, I probably would have. Just because, not for the dare, but for I was more of a guy that just wanted to fit in with everybody. Like I wanted to do it,
Gotcha.
the peer pressure in the high school peer pressure time. So, but this movie is I have the stats. It is way high. Oh my god! It doubled its money. 8.3 IMDb, 79% Rotten Tomato, 4 out of 5. The Common Sense, and it is the number 9 most ranked. Sorry,
I
number
believe
9
it.
most searched movie on
I
Google.
believe it. I believe it. I believe it. It's you can get so many quotes from that movie alone. So many scenes that people remember. Stop doing that with your tongue. You look like a lizard. That to me just it's amazing that and just to see that and every time you see it or you hear it, you laugh and you know it.
Also, Al Pacino is an actor to play
Right.
a totally different nationality and play it to that level for that popular movie is pretty impressive.
Martin Scorsese did some of the
Mhm.
writing. Brian De Palma was the director. Those are 2 great. Oliver Stone did some of the writing. Gosh, this is just a who's who
And
of.
I'll say too, we missed this. I don't even know if this got mentioned a couple weeks ago. You have to correct me, but video games based on movies. This is a good one. PlayStation
It
2
is a good
Scarface was a good
PlayStation.
video game.
Yes.
Actually, I played the game and not watched the movie. Yes, that's a good.
There you go. It's like a GTA type game. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very along that line, but yeah, it's
I think GTA took a lot of inspiration from that.
From that movie. Yeah.
oh
Or
yeah.
vice
Oh,
versa.
yeah.
It might be vice versa.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right,
So,
man.
yeah,
So Andy,
for sure.
what's number 2 on your Mountain?
Yeah, so this is a movie that back in the day loved this movie a ton. Kind of forgot about it for a little while and came back into memory for a very specific reason. Kirk, you may remember this. I'm going to go with I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. I'm going with The Fugitive.
The
Fugitive.
Wow.
This one didn't even get on my radar for crime movies until I did the deep dive. Because I'll say this, my top 2 are the movies that are maybe skirting, is this a crime movie? I do believe that this is a crime movie for sure. It's a manhunt. The guy's wrongly convicted of killing his wife, and then he really doesn't even become a criminal until he becomes wrongfully accused, which is just wild, right? Identity theft, and we can talk about all the different types of fraud that's in this movie. The kind of the whole motive behind the killing and everything, right? But throughout the whole thing, he's trying to solve the mystery while he's also running away from the police who are coming after the wrong guy. Like, just so many levels of intensity in this movie. We, Kirk, were on the show that we did. Part of the reason I plugged them too is the Retro Rewind Pod. We did an episode with them about The Fugitive recently, so I was able to rewatch it. It's just a fantastic movie. Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford, Joe Pantoliano, Julianne Moore, Jane Lynch. I mean, again, cast, great cast. I know many people are probably going to say it's thriller, it's action, it's drama. Listen, crime is just so intertwined in so many different of those genres and movies and things like that too. But 1993, obviously the criminal investigation, the manhunt, medical conspiracy, murder, fraud. I mean, I've just mentioned a ton of different crimes right there for you. Mm-hmm. One thing that we talked about in the episode that we did with Retro Rewind was that one of the iconic scenes, that train crash scene, was actually no CGI at all. It was completely real. And the wreckage is still there. One shot. It was done in one shot. The wreckage is actually still there. I forget where it is exactly.
Oh, wow.
But it's like a tourist attraction now. So we pulled it up when we were on the episode for like Google Maps. And you can see it on Google Maps. It's still there. And it's it's North Carolina. There you go. It's somewhere in North Carolina. the famous line that I just mentioned, the "I don't care," was an improvised line by Tommy Lee Jones, right? It comes from a 1960s TV show, right? This is a great movie. I love The Fugitive. It was one of those ones, again, like I said in the beginning. I watched it. I remember like really liking this as years ago, and then bringing it back into memory. I think that too. One of the things we mentioned, we've talked soundtrack a lot in this. This movie, soundtrack wise, is more of like a film score, but it's very intense, 80s, 90s synth. Just it's a really cool music it fits so well with the mood of the movie. If you haven't watched The Fugitive in a while, do yourself a favor. It is such a good movie. Such a good movie. So that's where I'm going with my link. And then the scene there right after "I don't care" when he jumps out of the dam is an iconic scene too.
What's up, Hammy and Son?
But
I missed this earlier. PCG's talking Razor Ramon kind of carried it over to wrestling. The Scarface. That is.
Yeah, you know what? That's right. That's really.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Hey,
hello. I come here and now I'm the boss. But because I remember watching the TV show,
The Fugitive. Yeah,
as a kid. Yeah, as a kid watching it with my dad.
Yeah.
So the one-armed man and the whole thing, and then when they made it into a movie, and it's like whoa, and it was so well made. It's such a fun movie to watch. So
I hadn't watched this movie in a long time before we.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time. Yeah,
when we jumped on over to Retro Rewind, and I'm so glad that we did. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.8 out of 10. 1993 thriller action, 2 hours and 10 minutes, PG-13. Great movie, and all the things that you mentioned, and it is on my Benjamins.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
It was on my Benjamins. Wow. I saw it today, and I was like, "Oh, dude, Fugitive." But it wasn't great enough for me to knock one off of these four because I love these four movies that I have. But it was definitely on my Benjamin. So I lose a Benjamin. Good cast. Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford.
He did a runoff on that, right?
John Paleantano, Julianne Moore, and then U.S. Marshals is great.
U.S. Marshal, right? Exactly. I love that movie. U.S. Marshal
is fantastic. Movies. Jane Lynch is in this.
And she's in such a weird spot in that movie. She's a doctor that, like, there's a whole backstory we don't even know about. But they threw Jane Lynch in there. It's like they could have put any just random actor to do that scene. But anyway, no, this is
good movie, definitely.
Tommy Lee Jones is underrated, dude, underrated. Yeah. Hey, Hammy and Son, we're doing great, man. Thanks for jumping in here. What you got going on? I saw you posted something. You and your boy were ripping. Like you might have posted on Instagram or something. Like you were opening some optic, I think maybe. I'm trying to remember what I read. But yeah, thanks for being here. Hey, Hammy and Son had a great testimony on our show as well, Javier. Man, that was one of our favorite moments. And Hamburger is the Highway. So, so it's a good movie, man. Good pick.
Yeah,
bro.
Good pick.
We could say for this one, crime movie is The Causeway.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so I guess it's my turn. Are we? If we want to move along, my top two movies were my top two movies from Jump Street.
21 Jump Street.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, no, that would have not made my list. The show. I enjoyed the show.
The show.
The movie.
We're not talking about the movies. No, we don't.
Come on, Jonah Hill.
Come on.
The movie was a little much. It was a little.
Yeah.
Much. So these were my top two right off the jump, and one of the reasons I went crime is because both of these don't fit in the same crime. One is one type and one is another type. So, we've mentioned two of these actors and we mentioned this director already. but I saw it in the chat. I think Three Good Nerds might have had it. Gangster, biopic, organized crime, Martin Scorsese, Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
For sure.
And listen, mafia, organized crime, mob movies. This is my favorite. It
I
is
hear you.
so good. I remember. So there was a time in my life, and actually it's probably right down there, because we did music not long ago. So there's a stack of CDs right here from when we done. But I had some burned music, and I remember having a techno song of just Joe Pesci from this movie, and it all like it's like a techno song of all his quotes.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. And
That
I'll have to go
sounds
find that
fantastic.
song. It's probably it's nowhere near appropriate, but I have to go find that song. But like Joe Pesci is just unhinged in this movie.
Mhm.
Like he's this like little, like he is the epitome of little man syndrome, right? But he is bad to the bone, dude. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like you think of him in Home Alone. This is
Mhm.
where I think of him all the time. In My Cousin Vinny, right, where that's kind of like a little spin off the kind of joke on this. But man, Scorsese, I love this movie so much. It's often ranked #1 gangster film ever. Like if you go and look,
Because
there's
it's
a
so
couple,
real.
right? There's a couple. We've mentioned a few in the chat. Scarface being one of them. They're all kind of in that area, but man, it's brutal. The Ray Liotta character is so cool. Robert De Niro, and here's my first De Niro. Like he's just so, like you mentioned him. De Niro is like, we could have talked De Niro being in this role. I mean, everything from like old school stuff like Taxi Driver, all that old
Mean
stuff.
Streets. You can go all the way back to Mean Streets.
Oh my goodness, so much.
So,
But I love this movie. Somebody might actually mention this, but I relate this movie to The Sopranos, and I love that show, and I relate it to Casino, right? So like, there's a lot of people that are Goodfellas, Casino. These movies are so good, and I could rewatch this movie, even though I probably shouldn't. But 1990, Goodfellas. What do you guys think about that movie?
I'm funny how? Funny like a clown?
Yeah. So
that's actually, I believe it was.
Where I look like a that's the one. That's one of those ones that's in that techno song.
Yeah.
I am Yushu?
Yeah.
Joe Pesci, dude. I mean,
and it's so funny because all the mobsters they named are real mobsters. Like they really lived, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story. When they filmed that movie, they filmed it when I lived in Ridgewood, Queens. They had taken part of Queens and put those cars there. And when you see a part, because technically that whole crew lived in East New York, Brooklyn. That's where they're originally from. Back then, East New York was all Italian and Jewish. So it was so they ran all of Brooklyn pretty much, East New York. And I remember seeing the little 50s cars. And like I told you, I love anything when it comes to a certain era, a certain time. And just Pesci, De Niro, Liotta, just,
I mean, but look,
the way go get your little showbox.
Michael Imperioli, he was in Sopranos. Frank Vincent, he was in Sopranos. Paul Sorvino.
Yeah, not go get your little shine box. I mean that funny that when they filmed it, I've been to that restaurant. That's in Queens.
Nice.
It was an Italian restaurant that they set up for that movie scene. But the whole thing, how he's kicking him, and you can see in Joe Pesci's face, like you feel like he really is killing this man. Like, it's just so intense, the movie. But yeah, it's one of those, definitely, if it's not on your top 10, I have no idea where it would be, because it definitely has to be.
I was just looking up Ray Liotta because I knew he passed away recently. 2022. It's been that long.
Yeah.
Goodness great. I feel like it was like this year.
Rated R, crime thriller, 2 hours, 26 minutes. #5 most searched movie. 100% love the casting. 8.7 on IMDb, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. There you go, man.
It's one of those that either it's hard to decide if you want Casino or Goodfellas, because they're both so great and they're both like the same direction or the way. So it's really hard. So yeah, but definitely Goodfellas.
Yeah. So if we were going to go straight mafia movies, this would have been my George, right? That's where we would have lived.
Yeah,
and then some of the ones that we've mentioned already would have come and fallen into play. But we went crime, so then I kind of went a little different direction. Yeah. So, Andy, you like Goodfellas?
Oh yeah, this is a great movie. I mean, cast. I mean, that's a running theme we're talking about today. Is that the cast of these movies is just, it's fantastic. So
the thing is, these, and they made it so well that you really are seeing the life.
Yeah,
that's how they lived their life. When he walked through the Copa, that's how it was. My father used to play at the Copa when I was young as a kid. He, then they had the Spanish. He was in a trio. He was a lead singer. He played at the Copa. He knew a lot of these mob guys that would be owners of restaurants or bars. And it's funny, people don't realize they owned a lot of Spanish restaurants.
Really?
They were in behind the scenes, but they were the ones that, and my father would play in these bars and stuff, and they were owned by, either mob controlled or at least affiliated in one way or another. But, they were so close to what it really was. Even when my dad saw it, he goes, he goes, they used to come in and do whatever they wanted and sat wherever they wanted. And, and if they asked you to sing a song, you would have to sing the song. God forbid you didn't sing it or didn't know it, wow. But because they would mix. That's why, I'm not even going to mention another movie that probably is on somebody's list, but we'll leave it alone. But,
yeah. Good pick. All right, so we are now to the George.
The George, number
George's,
one.
The George.
The best crime movie, in your opinion, Javier. What's your number one? What's your George?
It's not the greatest movie ever made.
Your greatest.
But it's my favorite, my greatest, my ever. I will watch it 1 billion times. And if you're not in the scene, you're not going to know it. And it's The Warriors.
Warriors!
Any better than The Warriors? Because I was born in that era. I saw those gangs. I lived in the Bronx when those gangs were out, the Savage Skulls, all these and all these gangs, and to see that and to know, that's New York that I know. When people talk about New York, that's my New York. The tagged up trains, the middle of the night you couldn't get on, things like that. That's my New York. That's when people say you were from New York, you were kind of like proud to say it because you had to survive in New York. Now, when people say you're from New York, okay, because we got kind of pansy out here. But it was just you had to survive, and the way that they used it, how they had to go all the way from the Bronx, Crotona Park, all the way back to Coney Island, Brooklyn, and all the scenes that they show, the train stations and all that. It's just, the acting obviously isn't the greatest, but it's just so gritty about the movie and so real. And then it's based off a mythology of Perseus, the whole adventure of him getting home. Mm-hmm. They based that off of that. And don't read the book. The book is garbage. I'm sorry. I personally don't think the movie and the book are nothing at all the same. At all.
But play the video game, because the video game is great.
The video game is so much fun. I played on a PSP, and that's my daughter's favorite game. Like every time so
Javier, just so you know, a couple weeks ago, I mentioned it with Scarface. We did our Rushmore of video games based on movies. It was my George, The Warriors.
Oh, such a great
Rockstar game. It is such an amazing. I will say, just like the movie, severely underrated, overlooked, overshadowed, but it is great. 1979. I mean, it's
1979. I was 10 years old. So I saw that. I seen the gangs. I remember the Majestics that were by my neighborhood.
Dude,
At
this
that time,
movie, so good.
You related to it because we only lived, and like we were talking before we started the show, we never knew anything but our neighborhood, our block. Our 4 blocks, our 5 blocks. Just like in the beginning, you're fighting for. He says you're fighting for property that's not yours. It's not yours. The city isn't ours. The blocks aren't ours. When we fought them, do you believe it? Can you dig it? I mean, that's a scene that,
Yeah. This is also the movie that is going to kind of break the trend as far as what we picked today, as far as like superstar casts. You know what I mean? Like, this is not if anybody just casually is looking at this, they're like, who are these people?
Right. And it's so sad.
The one guy, the main guy who was in
Michael Beck.
Michael Beck. But I believe he either became a Christian or started to believe more. That's why he left the movie industry, if I read correctly. He still does the warrior conventions and stuff like that.
Really?
At the New York Comic-Con this year,
so
some of them were there.
Not the guy I'm thinking about, but Michael Beck is the main character. But the one that is really good is David Patrick Kelly, who played Luther, the bad guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
he's been in so many movies. He's great.
He's been in a lot. And
Dreamscape is a great movie.
He was in Commando, 48 Hours, but Dreamscape. He was in Dreamscape.
Yeah.
He was the bad guy.
People don't know about it. He was great in Dreamscape. He was awesome.
He was in The Crow. He was Anyway.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that's been in so many movies that you may not know his name, but you know his face, right? But the Warriors is. So
this is a great pick. This is So what's funny is we started this show. Big Trouble Little China. That is a great pick.
Oh, that's an awesome one.
So we started this show almost 3.5 years ago. I would have never if you were like, hey, what are some things you're going to talk about? I would probably never say the Warriors. It was very deep. The movie, the show, or the movie, the video game, all those things. But this is a real deep cut memory bomb for me. I remember watching this as a kid. And I'm a huge baseball fan, and the baseball crew,
the Furies,
and they walk around with their pinstripes on and their
God! When I saw that in the theater, I was like, oh, holy cow! It's so cool.
I don't know what it was. Being like, this movie. When's this movie from? It's from like early 80s, right? Late
1979,
79. So I mean, I don't know when I watched it. It was probably like 8. and I just remember loving this. So you're talking about, this is the shortest movie of all, hour and 24 minutes, action thriller, 1979. 100% of the people say they love the acting. Hey, good high scores though. 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. That's, for it not being Goodfellas.
It's a cult classic.
Right. It's a cult classic for sure.
That's pretty good. Prime Video gives it a 7.5. And Rotten Tomatoes gives it 88%. That's freaking awesome.
That's not bad at all.
Also, I'm just looking through the cast and remembering this. James Ramer's in it. He's Raiden number 2. He's Raiden from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. How about that?
Raiden wins.
He's the second Raiden with the haircut, which is the worst. Just give him a wig. Why did that even have to be a line? But anyway.
But
he's in Dexter also. He's probably the most.
Who was the second Raiden?
James Ramer. Ajax.
Oh, so
Ajax, which is my favorite character in the movie. And there's something about Ajax that just showed the grittiness of living in New York and being a gang member at that time.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have the chick from Lynn Thigpen, the chick from Where in the World is
Carmen Singh.
Oh, the voice.
Yeah.
She's the voice.
All right, guys, we're gonna get to her.
Yeah, Gerard. She passed away. Yes, she just not that long ago.
Been a while.
Yeah. So she's just boppers when she used to welcome boppers, and one of my favorite songs in the world, "In the City," which is the last song on the soundtrack. I got to see it play live when I watched the Eagles. It was amazing to see it being played and brought back. I felt like I was 12 years old again, you know.
Warriors.
And you know that whole thing is ad-libbed. That was not part of the script. He just picked that up and did that, and it just stayed. And you know,
such a good.
And that's everybody remembers that line. You know, everybody. Yeah, and they still do it. It's been parodied all over the place, you know. But that's definitely my number.
Good
I mean, it could be many.
I appreciate this. This is exactly what this show's about. Nowhere on earth is that the George, but it is so iconic and nostalgic for you, which is two of our favorite words. I appreciate that. So, Andy, shock the world.
Yeah.
My Jorge, my George. I don't think there was any doubt. It's been my tagline the whole time. Salvation lies within. I'm going Shawshank Redemption.
Dude, I missed your tagline.
Dude, I will tell you this. It is
I didn't even do a tagline this time. It's my tagline from last week.
Listen, it is a top 2 movie of all time, and it's not number 2. This is the greatest movie of all time. Shawshank Redemption. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If this movie comes on, or if I have an opportunity to watch this, I'm stopping everything I'm doing. It's the greatest movie of all time. It's the most, you know, and I have such a weird taste in movies. My number 1 and my number 2 is Shawshank Redemption and then Wayne's World. It's my top 2 movies of all time. It's totally polar opposite ends of the spectrum there. But I had to pick Shawshank Redemption. Obviously, it's a Stephen King. I mean, a lot of things that we've talked about. Mm-hmm. It actually, believe it or not, flopped in the box office.
Yeah.
Originally, it grossed $16 million, it says. But I don't think I think the budget-wise or whatever. But ultimately, in the lifespan of it, it has made almost $73.5 million. So it's been one of those movies that, in a sense, the movie itself is a slow burn, right? There's a lot of story to it that's developing, and you get a lot of backstory, you get a lot of psychological aspects to it too. But it carries over to how the movie fared in the box office. It was a slow burn. People over time have actually just come to love this movie even more. Fun fact about it too. I found out that Morgan Freeman, again, we talk about Morgan Freeman as one of the greatest narrators, greatest voices of all time, but the narration was actually recorded before filming began, and it was used, and they fit the movie to the narration. I mean, it just gives me a whole new scope of this movie now.
How difficult that must be. Oh my
goodness. They set the tone of the movie to this. So I had to pick Shawshank Redemption. I agree with you, Kirk. It is a crime movie. We can skirt around it all day, and we can say it's not crime in the traditional sense. It kind of turns the crime. What's again, the irony of this, it's not irony because we know that there's corruption, right? But the guy who's in prison isn't a criminal, but the prison warden is the criminal. You know what I mean? It's the flip of what you would think it is. I mean, some of the most brilliant scenes, the whole covering the hole in the wall with the poster and then hitting it with the rock when there's thunder and you know, all of those just different things that Andy Dufresne is one of the smartest characters ever written. You know, just kind of like a mad genius, right? But I mean, you know, they say you get busy living or get busy dying, and the scene with the library and the old librarian who just, when he's trying to adjust to life outside of prison, can't do it and hangs himself. I mean, just so much heartbreak in this movie, so much you see kind of the veil torn of the corruption behind the scenes. That scene, again, I said it, one of the classic scenes is when he finally escapes and it's lightning and you see him look up and you see the rain falling down on him. That's probably one of the greatest scenes of all time. But that scene when Andy sneaks into the warden's office and starts playing the classical music, and he's just gone, I don't know if he's gone crazy or he's just at the point where he's just man, I know I'm free. I'm living with reckless abandon here. And so Shawshank Redemption, Great.
So
I will say this. I
just have two
and I
things that I
don't even jokingly say it is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh yeah, I knew it was your favorite. I just wasn't sure if you were going to tie it into that.
Oh, easy.
Right.
Yeah, this was easy.
All right. So two things that I want to say. One, it's just a silly, fun thing. Clancy Brown, he's the guy that gives the beer bottles on the top, the policeman or the prison guy. He reminds me of an old Triple H. I've always thought that, and the only other movie I can really think about him being in was Highlander. But Clancy Brown, cool guy. The other thing is, and Andy, we've mentioned this before, and you kind of jogged the memory. Both of us are suckers for some good narration.
No, dude.
This movie is filmed. Like, we're going to talk at the end of this movie cycle on montages. Narration is probably one very much like montages that is such a great little piece in a movie.
Listen. I love The Sandlot for the movie, but if that didn't have the narration that it had in it, it's not the same movie.
It's not the same. You're right. There you go. Exactly.
Right. And so whenever it's narrated great, it is a good movie. I mean, like, I love taking a journey with a character and wanting to know where we're going, and you're starting from the beginning.
What I think the narration does is, there's the people who, again, for Shawshank, it's based on a book. There's the people who are the book fans of the that, and then they're like, well, the movie's not as good because it's not. It marries the two. It's like you have the book, but I don't have to read.
Like, which is beautiful.
No, I haven't read the book because it's a book, and the movie's just perfect. If I watch the movie first, and it's my number one movie of all time, I don't want to ruin anything. And it's Stephen King. I'm sure it's great by going back and reading the book. I'm sure.
Wow, PCG. Hey, Poetically Christian Gamer. I love that. Escape from New York is his number.
Oh, what a great movie. I remember going to the theater and watching that as a kid, and it's like, until they destroyed and did all the sequels, whatever. Yeah, and
I love that movie.
They did him.
And Blow was also a good movie, and I have seen that cocaine movie. Yeah. So Blow is a good movie. All right, well, it's my George, and if you've been around this show long enough, you probably know this. This is could at one time it's my favorite movie of all time, Andy. It's you said your favorite movie. To me, one of the main things is cast here. And hold on, let me pull up my notes just so I can give some things out. The cast of this movie is, I would widely consider it the best cast ever. So 1995 is the movie. The director is Michael Mann. So that might give it away. Yeah. But the Heist movie, here's the stars. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Tom Sizemore. We're going with Heat. And I can't do the quotes because this is the most beautiful movie for me.
Right.
But Al Pacino has some... Gosh. Yeah. And your head's all the way up it. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
God, this movie is so good. When Al Pacino goes through the divorce of his wife, and he takes that TV and he slams it down, and he yanks it out the wall. And what I love about this movie, it's the one movie that I can think of. So this is why I love the fact that we added other stuff, because this is a heist movie. There's no I wouldn't have put it in a mafia or a mob or organized crime. Right. This is a heist movie. It's all about a heist, bank robberies, and the cast is just bananas.
Ridiculous.
Nutty.
They're ridiculous.
And let me just tell you this. What I love about this movie, there's a couple things that happen in this movie that don't happen in many movies ever. As a matter of fact, I can't even think of movies that do this. But Robert De Niro, the bad guy, we fall in love with him. He's the bad guy, but we're pulling for him, right? Al Pacino is the good guy, and you kind of want to see him fail. He's just he's a great cop. But he's a jerk, and he's going through life, and his wife sucks, and he's just a real jerk to everybody. But here's the cool thing. They meet and have coffee before the ending of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they say one of the greatest lines, and Al Pacino looks at him, and he's like, hey, listen, if it comes down to me and you, you're going down. And he said, well, and I say this all the time, there's another side of that coin. There's a flip side of that coin. Because if I see you, I'm going to have to take you down. And obviously, it freaking goes down to the wire. You have great cast. So it also, the middle of this movie is the best shootout scene in the history of film, in my opinion. They rob the bank. The guy gets... The getaway guy's going. The cops take him out, which is Serrano from Major League. Take him out, and then they all jump out the car, and they are just trying to flee. Sizemore is going one way. The other guys are going the other way. De Niro gets away. Kilmer's get away. Oh, and then Kilmer's love interest. What's her name? She's amazing. As a matter of fact, speaking of people we just lost recently, Val Kilmer.
Yes.
But this for a long time was my favorite movie of all time. This is The Shawshank for me. I will drop everything I'm doing to watch this movie. And because I started searching, it's now on Netflix. And I was like, gosh, I know that I could, if I watch it one time, I'm going to watch it 100 times. I love this movie. It's not necessarily appropriate for me to watch. There's a lot of scene here and there. Nothing that would like trigger me or anything. But I try to avoid anything sex scenes. There's one or two in there. And then I try to avoid just over-the-top F-bombs. I mean, like it's unnecessary. It's something I want to put in my life. And, I just don't curse. I don't curse. I try to avoid it. And there is a lot. Gunplay and, like, violence, it doesn't really, like, I don't know. It's a part of the cinema. I try to avoid, like sometimes, I just hear something. If I can't watch it when my kids are in the other room, then I probably don't want to watch it. Right. But Heat is, to me, top 4 movie of all time for sure.
That's amazing. Such a great movie. Such a great movie.
You mentioned De Niro earlier, and you mentioned Pacino. I'm marrying them. I got them together.
You can't. You know how exciting I was when I first heard the movie was being made, and that both my favorite actors in the world are going to be in the same movie, even though the scene is maybe 3 or 4 minutes long, which is the only time you ever see them together. But just to have both those actors together, and to play off what De Niro says, if you don't ever get attached to anything, you can't walk away from.
Yeah, you can't walk away. That
scene to me, when he turns around, he looks at her, and he just I was like, oh. I was like, I still live to that. Do not get attached to anything.
Who? What are you, blanking owl? I love that scene.
I love that, man.
That whole movie
gosh. It's pretty intense.
Your head's all the way up it.
Yeah. And De Niro played Pacino was he was so animated in there. It was that's when he first started with the yelling thing. I think that's one of the first movies when he got the... Yeah, exactly.
Also, Ashley Judd. Ashley Judd was Kilmer's love interest. Natalie Portman was in this. John Voight was in this.
That's
John
wild.
Voight. Danny Trejo was in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
William Fichtner was in this.
Dude, it's crazy.
Kevin Gage, which is Waingro. I love that character. Waingro is the guy in the beginning who kind of double-crossed them when they were wearing the mask, and he was like he's the one that shot him, and he shouldn't have. They brought him on. I like that character.
Hank Azaria is in it.
Who?
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria?
Yeah.
It's like
Henry Rollins. Oh, Dennis Haysbert, which is Serrano. He's the guy that was killed. Mykelti Williamson.
Jeremy Piven.
Tone Loc. Piven.
I forgot Tone Loc was.
Ricky Harris. I mean,
my goodness, that's
loaded.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
What was the freaking budget on this film?
Well, so I just looked at it. It was 60 mil, and they grossed 186. So it made almost
they did well.
$130 million. It's a huge success.
So 8.3 IMDb, 84% Rotten Tomatoes, 4.3 on the Letterbox, 97% love the acting, which is crazy. I mean, it's some of my favorite acting of all time.
For sure.
I just love this movie. So it's a 2 hour and 50 minute movie.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
It's a long movie.
They could have cut out a lot of Val Kilmer's character. Val Kilmer and Ashley Judd have this like thing, and there's a lot of that going on. It's kind of side story. They could have done that and made it probably like a half an hour less, but I don't feel like I'm watching 2 hours and 50, especially when there's like a 40-minute shootout in the middle.
Shootout, right. Yeah.
It's almost like 30, 40 minutes of just the shootout. The bank robbery to the getting away. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just love this movie. So anyways, that's my George.
Good pick.
Man.
Way to go.
Yeah, definitely one of my top 10 movies. You know, you guys named some of definitely on my top 10 list.
All right, so it's Benjamin time. Oh, look, so Kirk is bringing the heat, and they all wear Jason Voorhees masks. Yeah. So they have like hockey masks. And then my favorite movie all time, hands down, Princess Bride, right there, baby. Princess Bride. There's Andre the Giant, and as Fedit. That's three of the characters up there of Princess Bride. One of my favorite movies of all time, too. Definitely would not watch Heat today as a Christian, but I watched a long time ago. So I was going to say this earlier, and I kind of got sidetracked. Let's jump to Benjamin's. There are movies, when I first got saved, I almost eliminated everything basically rated R. Not because anything that I just didn't know how to be a Christian, to be honest. I didn't know how to be a Christian for myself. I didn't know my journey, my walk. And I felt like I had to stop listening to certain music, stop watching certain things. I had a porn addiction. I had, so anything sex scene, that might be the little trigger for me. Yeah, I try to avoid those things. But I will say this. Nowadays, I'll watch things and I'll be like, I'll put it in a lens of one, film and literature, that it's not something that is, it's art, right? And so I'll look at it and I'll be like, but there are certain things that, like you said, triggered for you, Javier. There are certain things that I don't want to open the door to give the devil a foothold.
For sure.
Certain things just don't do that for me. Now, if my children are in the room, I don't care how old they are. My oldest daughter's 26. I'm not watching something like that with her.
Right.
I feel uncomfortable. I don't no, I'm not doing this. And matter of fact, I'd probably call her out on the carpet. Like, why are we watching this? Like, you should watch this. So, and look, you can say hypocrite all you want. I just know my walk with Christ and what's going to hinder it and what's not. I try to avoid lots of F-bombs and lots of sex scenes. That's really the big deal. So, anyway.
I agree with you in a sense where I think once you get to know the God that is loving and grace and understanding, and you're strong in that, there are certain things that are just not going to call you anymore. They're just not going to attract you anymore, right? They're just not going to be, they don't give you the satisfaction like you did when you used to watch them before you were saved. You know, there are some movies that I watch now and I'm like, why did I watch this? Why did I enjoy this that much at that time? It's, but in what you're saying, I look at it as imagination, right? It's an art. You can't not talk about the most biggest artist in the world. God created this world. Yeah. No one has a bigger imagination than our Savior. Look at us ourselves, the way he created us, our bodies, the way things move in our bodies. I mean, you have to be an artist. You have to be a creator to do these. So that's the way I look at anime. Absolutely. I look at cartoons. Absolutely. I look at it as like God
And
gave us this
and
imagination. Why
Javier, to
not?
be honest, at the heart of the Rushmore Show, that's one of the reasons we kind of do this. Not because there's stereotypes that Christians can't do
Right.
certain things. And you know
Right.
what? We get called on the card. People will call us out, and that's
Mhm.
okay. If you want to call us out,
Yeah.
but I know what my walk is. I know what Andy's walk is. I know Andy knows his, and vice versa. And here's the reality. I haven't been saved my whole life. I got saved in my late 30s after a huge addiction to drugs, alcohol, and pornography, and some other stuff. And look, I'm completely clean of all that and eliminated that and been forgiven. And so I know my walk, but I know what the next thing we're going to do for the walk is. Kind of a segue is we need to do our Benjamins and tell everybody good night. We're getting long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Right. Getting long in the tooth. Hey, so look.
Hey, let me just say this. Let me say this real quick. I know to belabor this because I was looking for the scripture, Romans chapter 14.
Yeah, drop it.
Paul talks about. He says, these verse 14. I know and am persuaded in the Lord Jesus that nothing is unclean in itself, but it is unclean for anyone who thinks it is unclean. For if your brother is grieved by what you eat, you are no longer walking in love by what you eat. Do not destroy the one for whom Christ died. And that's when he starts talking about being a stumbling block. We can know that, hey, maybe for me, this movie's not a trigger, but I am absolutely not ever going to put it on in an area where if I know somebody is struggling in that area, I would cause them to stumble.
Amen.
That's when it becomes the issue. So
Right.
I think there's personal conviction to a lot of those things. That and again, PCG, like if that's a movie you're not going to watch today, absolutely, that's your conviction for sure. So to you, absolutely, right? And to others, it may not be. I think that if we are mature enough in our spiritual walk, we know that one of the most important things is not to bring, not to grieve the Holy Spirit, but also to not be a stumbling block to other believers, right? So in the Rushmore Show, that's what we hope to not be a stumbling block for someone.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's really kind of a big deal there.
Right.
That's awesome. So, man, I love when we get going on some scripture.
Listen, we're in revival services right now, baby. We're just
for sure.
All right,
come on.
So,
Absolutely.
speaking of scripture, there's somebody that needs some scripture, and he sung this song. So let's talk about who missed our mountain. All about the Benjamins, baby. So look, our Benjamins. So Benjamins is the kind of the honorable mentions. We have long said this. If it's the first time you're here, then this will be the first time you hear this. But if you've been here around a while, you'll know that Benjamin Franklin was supposedly the fifth guy on the mountain that missed. I don't know why he wasn't a president. I don't know why people say that, but we love it because we are talking about people that missed the Rushmore Mountain, and that's honorable mentions. You are first in the draft order, Javier, and then Andy, and then me, and then it's second round, it goes backwards. Third round, it goes forward. Fourth round, it finishes with you. So you have Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy is who was the guy this year? Oh, it was
Patriots.
Kobe Bryant. Wasn't it Kobe Bryant?
No, he was undrafted.
No, Kobe something. Kobe.
It was Kobe Minor.
Kobe Minor. I was almost there. I was saying
Patriots out of Memphis, defensive back.
Mr. Irrelevant this year. So you get that pick. Now, we don't have to really discuss and jump in, but we can talk a little bit. But remember, we can't mention anything that's already been mentioned. And once you draft something, nobody else can get it. So PCG's in this. What tempts one doesn't tempt another. We can all use our own discernment and guidance, Holy Spirit. Yeah, absolutely. Cheap viewers. Oh, we got a bot in the house. Somebody get rid of that bot. Oh, that's on Twitch side. On the Twitch side, I haven't, but yeah. Anyways, so you're up, Javier. What is the first one that just missed the mountain today?
And it's another period piece, and it's another of the favorite actor lists. It's Carlito's Way.
Great movie.
Can't talk about crime if you don't talk about Carlito's Way.
Can't talk about Yeah, you can't talk about Scarface and all these other movies without Carlito's Way.
Carlito's Way, especially if you're from New York and you grew up and knowing Spanish Harlem and knowing that, those were real and the disco era and how, people didn't really understand that the mob did run the Bronx back in the day. It wasn't always the hood the way it was. The Italians and the Puerto Ricans always had some sort of arrangement for stuff like that. But just the way De Niro played, Puerto Rican is just, to me, being a Puerto Rican, I laugh at it because he did go a little bit overboard, but it's just the way he did it and the way that the whole piece was made and how it was directed. That's one of the ones that definitely missed the point, but it was right there, almost right there.
There was also a sequel with P. Diddy in it. So
yes, and we won't talk about that one. That was absolutely horrible. Hey,
real quick.
That should be another show. That should be another show. One of the worst remakes.
Real quick, you don't talk about cast. Pacino, Sean Penn, Luis Guzman, Penelope Ann Miller, Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
Yes.
Oh man, Viggo Mortensen. Let's see. Yeah, that's most of the main big ones. Ingrid Rogers. Yeah. But anyways, good movie. This is a great one. It's 1993 crime thriller. Good job, Andy. What's your next one?
All right, so I actually have a different criteria for my Benjamins. I'm just noticing it. I think I'll get all 4 of these, so I don't really.
You're going all comedy.
I'm going all comedy.
I knew it!
And I'm going to start with just a fun movie, dude. This was a movie that I swore was a Tarantino movie back in the day, but it's not. But it's a lot of the cast from it, or at least one of it at least. I'm going Get Shorty. Get Shorty is such a good movie, dude. I love John Travolta.
I've never watched the whole thing, but
we thought Gene Hackman. We just brought him up. Gene Hackman's in this movie. Rene Russo, James Gandolfini's in this movie. Dennis Farina. I mean, this is a good little cast right here too. But it's a fun movie, man. If you haven't watched this one, mobster working in the Hollywood scene with tons of fun stuff.
I've not yet to. I watch like little scenes. When you're watching TikTok or something, they'll show a little scene of it or something. And I've never watched the whole movie per se. I'm not a huge comedy movie fan.
That's me.
My humor is very, I guess, in a way, dark, or I don't laugh at a lot of things that comedy movies do. To me, they don't catch me. There are some that are funny, but definitely Get Shorty, the whole idea of the mob and him coming in to make a movie and selling the movie and forcing them to, the whole premise of the movie is hilarious.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's a lot of fun to watch, and the cast itself is
great cast. It's a good movie. You should have to check it out. I mean, I'm a big comedy guy. Will Ferrell's my guy. I just mentioned Wayne's World's my second favorite movie. So
So I get back-to-back jacks here, and I'm so glad this one fell to me. And this is a home run. Listen, if I don't win this week, I'm mad. This is a home run. DiCaprio, Wahlberg, The Departed,
Jack
Nicholson. Let me tell you something. Irish Mob, Top Mole. This movie is upper tier. This is S tier movie. I'm getting into Benjamins, right? That's a great movie.
Yeah, there's still one out there that I don't understand why it's not. I mean, it's not going to fit for me, but anyway.
Yeah,
Departed, great.
Just a great movie.
Just the whole storyline of that whole how they based the story and the cops and everything. How the acting is amazing. They were all great. So But
all right, so my next movie. Do I want a heist movie again? Do I want a mobster movie? I just had another mobster movie. So I got 2 mobster movies. I'm gonna go. Gosh, there's so many good movies here. I'm gonna go with another kind of cop drama, kind of heist movie, kind of off the beaten path. But I think it's such an S tier movie as well. Keanu Reeves, I'm going Point Break.
Point Break. Nice.
That is an awesome movie.
I'm going to be offended, Kirk. Kirk, I might vote for you.
Yeah.
I'm going Point Break.
I might vote for you.
Yeah. That's definitely one of those. That's a really good movie.
That is a great pick.
Yeah, that's really good.
All right, so you're up, Andy.
Yeah, and sticking you with this, dude, there's so many good ones that haven't been mentioned yet that we could talk about. But I'm going to try to stick true to my comedy one here. And I'm not going to be that creative here. I'm just going to go with the sequel to my last one. I'm going with Be Cool. Be Cool.
Dude, Be Cool. I was going to say, I like Be Cool better than Get Shorty.
Be Cool is basically Get Shorty, but instead of the movie industry, it's the music industry.
With The Rock.
But yeah, The Rock, dude, his character in this is so hilarious.
That's right. That is probably his funniest character of all time.
But you've got John Travolta and Uma Thurman in this one, Vince Vaughn, Cedric the Entertainer, Andre 3000, Christina Milian, Danny DeVito's in it again. And then you got Harvey Keitel. Then you got all these musicians. Fred Durst is in the movie. Steven Tyler. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of big actors. This is 2005, so this came out quite a bit after Get Shorty did, but same movie, essentially just in the music industry, and really funny. So you got two movies you got to watch now.
Yeah,
if you got to watch Get Shorty, you got to watch Be Cool.
Yeah, now I got to watch those two. Yeah, my wife's gonna be like, "What are you doing? Watching all these comedies?"
I went to the theater to see Be Cool.
Oh, really?
The Rock was in it, not knowing it was Get Shorty's sequel until I got there. And I was like, wait a second. This is Get Shorty.
I remember renting this from Blockbuster. Yeah, that was this.
And I was kind of like thrown off because here's the thing. If you haven't seen it, The Rock plays a different kind of character. And I was like, wait, what? What's going on here? Yeah. Dude,
it's not any kind of character that you have ever seen him play. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I don't think you've seen him play
all
that
right,
at
so Javier, you get back-to-back picks. Last of the second round, first of the third.
All right, so last, then I really got to change my mind because I have two that aren't really, unless you're a movie buff, you're not going to know about these movies.
ECG, that's a good pick. And yeah, Fox, we went Point Break.
I'm going to have to say, most people don't know about this movie, but it's so well made. It's called Miller's Crossing.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It was so well written and so
Miller's
well acted. If you don't know anything about crime movies or that's one of those movies you need to watch, and really, you can feel.
Yeah. This is a great movie.
Yeah, that's one of my definitely.
Prime, 2 hours, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mm-hmm. It's got John Turturro in it.
Yeah, there you go.
I love John.
Which
Turturro.
is his character in that movie was so intense.
Gabriel Byrne.
Oh, he's just
the
amazing.
Devil in what is it? Stigmata. No, he was. Was he the devil?
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Gosh, this is such a good movie. Steve Buscemi again.
It's one of those that unless you know the movies and all the actors, you don't really hear.
No, I definitely know this movie. This is a great movie. Good pick.
Awesome.
Man. So you got another one.
And last but not least, and this was almost going to be.
You get. Wait, hold on, Javier. You get. Oh. So you're in the third round. You got the fourth round pick too.
I get the.
So you do get two more now.
You get two more.
So I get two more.
You get back to back here, and then you get one more later.
Okay, so I'm going to give you one that's most people will not either never seen it, or don't know about it, or maybe they have. It's called Eastern Promises.
I haven't seen this.
It's about the Russian mob, and he's a Russian mobster. And there's a reporter who's trying to report on it, and it's all based in Coney Island in Orchard Beach, which is a very big Russian community in New York. And it talks about they show the New York, they show the New York City baths, the Russian bathrooms, and how they dealt with they talk about the tattoos and what they mean, and the movie's intense because she's not part of that, but he sort of brings her in because he's showing her what life is being so yeah.
Hey,
Cool.
Francisco, thank you for showing up because that means I win. He was my George was Heat.
Yes.
And also we shouted you guys out at halftime today. Francisco is the Retro Rewind podcast,
Yes.
man. We love you, man. Hey, speaking of Francisco, while you're here, right above you is Poetically Christian Gamer. And our guy here on the panel, they're both Christian creators, and they would love to get some information about Culture Box. Especially Poetically Christian Gamer, who's been in our chat forever. I think he's a perfect fit, and Javier is a perfect fit too. But
thank you.
yeah, I told him I would share them with you guys. But
For
yeah,
sure.
Francisco.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of my Eastern Promises, one of those movies.
They're both Christian creators. So all right, so Andy, you're up.
Yep.
All right. Comedy. I'm gonna keep it because I don't think anybody's taking it. Again, okay, so let me just pull this up real quick.
There's one big comedy that I just want to have on here, and you're not going to pick it.
So 2008.
No.
I don't know if you're going to consider it crime, but it's a Benjamin, so it kind of teeters that line. There's definitely crime in it. You couldn't get out of the mid 2000s without talking about some of these actors right here. Let me just give you the top three, the three guys that are on the cover of this. Seth Rogen, James Franco, Danny McBride, Pineapple Express. This movie, now again, I've given my backstory before. I was in the field of field is where you would get anyway. I was in the run of people who were partaking in herbs, we'll just say. And this was our Citizen Kane. Like this was, you know what I mean?
I believe it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So this movie is so funny. It's another movie that I don't think I'm going to go back and watch. Just granted, everything that's in it. But dude, Seth Rogen in those mid 2000s, early mid 2000s, like just I love that he was Donkey Kong, by the way, in Super Mario. That's perfect. Herb's like, well, we did play Resident Evil games while we were making herb salads. Yeah. Anyway, Pineapple Express. That's my next one there.
Awesome.
Man, I have a perfect list. This might be my best list ever, Andy, because
I think you're winning. I really
sure.
Listen, I still have two more. Like I have like 7 more movies I can go here, but I'm gonna get my top 8, which is crazy. I'm gonna get my top 8.
Call it MySpace.
Crazy. My top 8. We call this one MySpace. I win. That's what this game is called. I win. Sup, Rushmore Show. Evening, everybody. Showed 86. Welcome on in. So, number 1. I'm gonna go with another crooked cop drama. Andy, I'm surprised he hadn't been mentioned today because he's got like 15 movies I thought about putting on this list, and he's one of your favorite actors of all time. He was on your action list.
Yeah,
I'm going with Training Day.
Training Day,
Washington.
Oof.
Dude, what? Yeah. This movie is.
Yeah. King Kong has nothing on
This movie is so good.
Yeah, it's intense.
But listen, just Denzel, he's got about 7 we could have mentioned. And I saw 2 of them in the chat over there. But Training Day, as far as crime goes, Crooked Cop, I love it. And he is just the coolest crooked cop ever in the history of movies.
Training Day in the 3rd round of Benjamins is wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And finishing this off with, dude, a home run.
If you don't pick this one, I don't know.
The very first, look, so we're talking crime. And it's my number 4. I was holding it to number 4, see if somebody was going to mention it. But this is the only serial killer one. And I have to go. Brad Pitt, bro. 7.
Oof. What's in the box?
What's in the box? Listen, I didn't do any of those because I was kind of whatever. I was going to wait till the end. But 7 is my favorite murder movie ever. Like, it's just amazing. The fact that they tie in the 7 sins. But, oh gosh, and
Kevin Spacey
when you find out who the bad guy is at the end, and you're like, oh, what? Like, dude, the box, like, it's just
exactly.
And I still have so many more, but I love it. Perfect list. Yep.
All right, probably my newest pick of all. It is my newest one. 2011. This came out. Non-stop laughter. The cast, brilliant. Jason Bateman, Charlie Day, Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston, Kevin Spacey, Colin Farrell, Jamie Foxx. Horrible bosses.
Horrible. Wow, dude. Horrible bosses.
So funny.
Listen. Can I watch that still? I don't know. Listen. We're talking about like what triggers you. Jennifer Aniston triggers me for sure, especially in this movie. This movie ranks up. When you talk about comedies, this movie is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Like it's banger after banger comedy. Like I'm gut laughing at some of the stuff, especially what's his name, Charlie Day.
Yo, dude, Charlie Day.
Oh my gosh. And Jason Bateman and dude, I am just gut laughing. And then Horrible Bosses 2 is still good too.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as good as 1, but it is good. It's good.
I will say this, and I will be on record for saying this. I'm not saying he's the number one, but he is in the Rushmore consideration for SNL members is Jason Sudeikis. He is in the consideration in top 4. That mid 2010s, 2008 to 2012 kind of time frame for SNL for me was absolutely beautiful.
So here's the thing. There's some kings of SNL that I think would all automatically trump him no matter what. But when you go,
my pull to it. I was watching SNL live when it was Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, Kristen Wiig, Jason Sudeikis, Bobby Moynihan.
Like early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
I get it. I'm just saying, don't sleep on Sudeikis.
When you go underrate, oh my gosh, Showed, that is on my list. That's the comedy I was looking for. Blue Streak. Oh my gosh, that movie is so great. And it has Tim Robbins in it and Martin. Okay, you were kidding, LOL, Blue Streak. Yeah, Fox. I'm trying to read. Hey guys, real life perspective is here. Shaun, you made it just in time.
Hey Shaun, just so you know, I checked my schedule. I'm good for June 6th. So
I will be good for it. I don't know yet until we get the schedule. We're going to be on his show doing The Toys That Made Us. Which is a great documentary.
Oh, that's fun.
Everybody that's in the chat right now, if you haven't already, drop your channel. So you're up, Javier. Let's finish this mountain.
This is the last one.
This is the last pick.
And I'm gonna finish it with a pick that I can't believe no one mentioned. And it's another.
It's got to be the one on the cover.
It's that no one talked about, and it's a timepiece and one of the greatest. 2 of my favorite actors are on there. All of them: Andy Garcia, Sean Connery. What's his name? Kevin Costner. We're talking about The Untouchables. How can we not mention The Untouchables? From the original TV show, which was amazing, till the movie.
Which is crazy. We made it all the way through a crime without saying The Godfather.
Or The Untouchables.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that.
I think The Godfather, it's a kind of a given. Like, that's definitely in your top 3.
Well, remember, we did...
For mafia movies.
I'll say this. I'm not as big of a fanboy of Godfather as all the other mafia movies. I like it. I mean, it's okay. It's more than okay. It's a masterpiece. It's just not my favorite.
This reminds me of, and Kirk, I know you don't like Family Guy, but if you get a second, check out the Family Guy scene. The whole family is about to die. It's a Star Wars pull. They're in the trash compactor thing. He says, well, since we're about to die, I'm going to say it. I didn't care for Godfather. and then they're literally like, stop what they're going to do. They're like, for real? You don't like The Godfather? It insists upon itself. It insists upon it. It's such one of my favorite scenes from Family Guy for sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
but it's one of those things, you know?
Shaun, guess who had it? This guy.
Hey guys, just so you know, and I would always tell you to vote for me. If you don't vote for Kirk, you're just voting for me because you like me, and I appreciate that. But from an objective sense, I think Kirk has the best list tonight.
Yeah,
and Javier's got a great list too. But the fact that Training Day was his third binge is should
crazy.
Pretty much tell you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I hand it to you. Here you go.
I even was on record. I might vote for Kirk this week.
I love you guys, man. We are pushing a 3-hour channel, and I love that. Hey, I love all the people in the chat. I could do this all night if my wife would let me, but I have a lot to do in the morning. We got 4 days left of school, Andy. I think I'm going to go live quite a bit this summer. We're
going to go live from camp for sure.
We're going to go live from camp. I have a lot of free time. I'm going to be sitting around, and so I'll probably play some games. Bad Boys 1 was on my Benjamins. So for the record, congrats again on graduating. Thank you. I did graduate this week, and it was amazing. Awesome. But Showed, thanks for being here. And we appreciate you. Thanks for being around. Next week, let me tell you what's next week. We do have an opening coming up that Isaac, so let me find that out. So if you're in the chat and you want to join us, and even Javier, if you want to come back,
for sure.
We have an opening because Isaac he really wanted to be on the show, but he's got some things that have come up and he's gonna have to miss. So here's what's coming on the show next, and then we'll get out of here. Andy, never mind. I'm here. I was about to say, Andy, take over while I'm looking. So, all right, movies and TV. What's up next? What's up next is space exploration movies with 2 other amazing Christian creators. We're going to be with Paeter Frandsen from Christian Geek Central, great friend of Culture Box, and we're going to be with Eric, who is best friends with Nate Marchand from Nerd Chapel. Space exploration movies. That's next week. And then we're going to finish off this month with Waves and Games. Isaac is on June 5th, which is the first week of June. He was going to be on, and we were going to do actors we vicariously could live through, which is a play on, we did video games that we could vicariously live through with
PCG.
Yeah, with Poetically Christian Gamer. So a lot of Christian creators coming on. So if somebody wants to be on June 5th, let me know if you're available. And June 6th is when we're going to be on with Real Life Perspective.
Yeah,
right?
back to back.
So that's a back to back. So here's what we got coming up. Athletes who act with pop culture pastors. Those are another Christian creators. They're amazing. Go follow them. We're going to have Jeff Hutstetler, which is another Christian creator. He's going to be on with Alex Stein, which was my captain. Oh, captain, my captain. He was my captain in Iraq when I was overseas. And we're going to do Batman movies. And then we're going to finish off with Retro Gaming. You know him. Iro Retro Gamer Dad with training montages. So it's going to finish off the mountain. But we need somebody June 5th. So if you're in, let me know. And if not, we're good. Enjoy Hot Fuzz, probably most of the Marionetto trilogy. Yeah, Hot Fuzz was funny. You know, like Andy doesn't like British doesn't like any of Shaun of the Dead's or none of that.
One I thought about putting on my Benjamins, and it's a great movie. It was Snatch. Speaking of British,
that's a fantastic movie.
That's a great movie.
That's a fantastic
movie. But then I went the comedy route, and that's I took it away. But
Snatch kind of fills in the Reservoir Dogs to me kind of area, the usual suspects.
Except you need subtitles in Snatch. There's an SNL
sure.
skit with Bill Hader, Round and Round the Railroad. You got to watch that one. It's so funny. They make fun of that whole genre.
I'm just kind of scrolling back, making sure I didn't miss anybody. Fox, Francisco, Shaun. Shaun, congratulations on killing it over on Keith's channel. Fox, you want in on June 5th? Let's think of a topic. Come on, man. Come on. We can have more than one person too. If somebody else wants to be on it, we could do multiple. Fox is a fun friend too.
Let's do movie quotes.
Movie quotes.
Oof, I'll definitely be on that one for sure. I would love to be a movie quote.
As long as I can read them.
You have to do your best impression.
Right.
If I have to do them from memory, I lose.
Yeah.
One of mine, just throwing it out there, that's just in strong contention, just giving you guys a little foreshadowing.
Poetically Christian Gamer, you can be on September 4th and that one if you really want to.
One of mine, Denzel Washington. Kirk already knows where I'm going. Final wish. I wish you had more time.
More time, right? That's awesome.
So good.
All right. So with that being said, love all you guys. If you want to be on the show for sports, food, or video games, let me know. And continue watching, continue being there. We ordered some merch, but we had to reorder because it never came in.
No, it's still processing. We're gonna have to find a new carrier because there's no way I can make people wait 2 months to get their shirt it's ridiculous. So
Francisco, love you to death for real. Can't wait to see that board game out. By the way, Francisco is done Junkyard Juggernauts, a great tabletop RPG. Card game.
Francisco, is there a way? And I've shared this on there. That's not my jam with those games, but I just want some of the artwork. Like, is there a way? Like, is there something I can order from you that would just give the look of it? Because the art, it's just so awesome. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to carry the conversation forever, but yeah, I know we're pushing through.
So PCG, you want to be on June 5th? We'll figure it out, man. We can do it. Javier, you want to be on June 5th? We'll talk. I'll send y'all a chat. Fox,
for sure.
We can do all three. So we got to just figure a topic. And I love you guys. Thanks for being here, Andy.
Thank you.
It's late, and I got stuff to do. The pixel art or illustration that Paul is doing, Andy. So he loves both of them.
I love it all. I'll message him. We'll figure something out because I'd love to support that. Throw it back here and do something. But yeah, print. Print would be great.
There you go.
A print would be perfect.
Print, like a artist formerly known as Prince. I mean,
Fresh Prince, TJ Jazzy Jeff.
We got Fresh Prince. TJ Jazzy Jeff is on our mountain.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, we can sit here all night. Tell.
It's actually an early night for me. I'm used to having revival services until midnight, so I'm good.
Yeah, tell them all good night, Francisco.
This is way past. I'm an old guy. This is way past my bedtime.
I hear you. Well, hey, look, thank you guys, everybody who joined in. Javier, thanks for joining tonight. It was always just a great time hanging out with you, talking crime. But let's say good night, and let's say it like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your this guy, your top four.
And nothing more.
Peace.